Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Flesh and Blood stream. So tonight, I'm going to be continuing my exploration into Dromai, except tonight, I got to look up my testing log here. Except tonight, I don't plan on restream going out like it did last night. That was a little bit of a bummer last night. I got I got 2 games in. I was in my second game last night playing Dromai, and then Restream just cut out and stopped working. They had a they had a global outage to where people that use Restream couldn't stream until about 2 a.m. last night. So when I finally got an email, so I don't know what happened with their server, but I'm hoping that we can keep everything going tonight. I'm looking forward to giving it another go at Dromai. So after the stream, I ended up playing one more game against a Fi, actually, and I ended up winning. They had a very awkward turn late in the game that allowed me to win, and then they also had a turn where they let me hit with a snatch. I went snatch, snap, Kyloria with no Phantasm they let hit, and then a snatch that they let hit at the end of the turn. So I don't really know what was going on in their world, like what was going on, but I ended up winning that game, and then I won the Arachne game. That game was honestly just kind of a landslide at the end of the game. Mattis had called that out early on in the matchup and said that would be like kind of a free win. But I just, I played it out just to make sure that everything would continue to play out the way I thought. So, and hey, what's going on, Trent? Yes, sir. We were playing the evil dragon lady. I ran my poll and everybody voted for Dromai, so that is what we're on this week. Missed out on a what is that? Lord, missed out on some games last night, unfortunately, with Restream being down, but I'm hoping to play some games tonight and get some good games in. We're 3 games deep so far, and I'm 2-1 on Dromai. And we'll see what we can come up with. I left my water in the other room. Gosh dang it. While we're waiting on an opponent, I'm gonna go find my water. I'll be right back. Well, this ought to be fun one way or another, I guess. God, do I even want Crown of Dominion here? How do you play this? I assume that Crown of Providence is for this matchup. I don't really know what we want here. Dragon Mommy enters the arena. Yeah, Templar, I'm hoping to like, this is a matchup that I think is going to be interesting. I assume we want Crown of Providence in this matchup. I really don't know. And I assume that we want Gauntlet. No, we probably want Mitts if I had to guess. So I know that we want our Remembrance. He's given up on the Ninja Brethren. I have not given up on Ninja. I'm just trying other things. I'm trying my hand at other things. Draw a card if you are royal. Instead, draw. So we still leave this in. We just don't draw 2 cards. I mean, maybe we're just supposed to run the 72 card special here against them. I honestly don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Let's run the 72 card special here. I don't I mean, take out tomes and include defensive cards. Take out tomes and include defensive cards. So we'll take out tomes. I have 2 sand covers, 3 sink belows, and 2 fate for scenes in. I like the Remembrance. They allow us to like stack the deck and like play that longer style game. Okay. I guess my opponent got tired of waiting. Like, and part of me understands, but like, also, like, I don't have any of these matchups pre-set up. I don't know enough about Dromai to, like, have all of these set up, so I'm kind of just learning as we go here. I understand this matchup very well from the Bravo side. I've just never played it from the Dromai side, so... Oh, boy, here we go. Another Ninja. Fi guy for life. I mean, dude, I really like Fi. Fi's like probably my favorite hero in the meta right now. but also no block. I mean, sure, like, yeah, like the no block is definitely a problem in the Bravo for sure. Bravo kind of wants to run hot against you if they can. I mean, yeah, if they dominate a whole bunch of things over and over again, that's really bad for us. So I think this is the matchup that we want Iron Rock Gauntlet for. Let our opponent know that I'm sideboarding here so that we can get everything correctly. We don't want their Remembrance. We don't want Rake the Embers because they help with the Kodachi plan. I don't think we want Dominia. I think we have to leave in Tumultai to try and get Mask here. I think that's my understanding of the matchup. We can cut Warmonger's Diplomacy. It's like kind of fine, but not great. Necria honestly doesn't seem that good. We could probably just cut Necria. Maybe we're supposed to leave that in. I don't know. Stream sniping is so easy. Drew is a shoe. That's hilarious. So this is you, man. I don't think we want the Dust either. Like, it does block for 3, but I think we'd rather cut the Passing Mirages. I mean, we can leave in 1 Passing Mirage, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. We'll try it like this. I think this is how we want to board. We'll find out later if this is horribly wrong or not. I'm honestly not sure. We're just gonna go ahead and I guess we're just gonna pitch Dust up in the Enderai. We want to Arsenal the Sand Cover here. I got the stream muted. All right, cool. So I'm gonna pitch Kaloria to play Yindarai here, and then we're just gonna Arsenal the Sand Cover and pass here. Kaloria looks to be very good later, but Kaloria is also just like Kodachi, which is like kind of free for them. So stream sniping is so easy. That's hilarious, dude. Oh man. So he takes the Endurance counter off of Yindarai. We're just going to take 1 here. Don't really have any interest in blocking the Kodachi, considering he could have like a 2 and a 1 here to throw at Yindarai, but I wonder if this is Razor. Kind of what it seems like in this moment. I don't know. We'll block whatever comes next. I mean, if this doesn't have go again, then this is just us taking 2. Like, I don't know. Maybe he's going to break Breeze Rider Boots here. That would be interesting if he did break Breeze Rider Boots. Interesting, Drew didn't kill my Yindarai. I am intrigued by this decision. So we're going to go Kaloria. And then we're going to play Burn Them All. I did not want to pass. I wanted to attack. That's why making sure I click on the right things is so important here. Did I actually turn that on? Okay, that is now an active timer. So that's turned on. Okay, so we're good to go there. All right. I also didn't play the Burn Them All, I guess. I mean, I'm not going to be able to keep the Burn Them All, so there's not really much of a point to me playing it. I should just pitch it to activate Furnace. Is probably the better play. We'll just play Sigil, go to 42, and then we'll make an extra Ash here, pitching the Burn Them All, and then put this on the bottom. And then I was like, I assume this is to kill a dragon. Probably the Kaloria, if I had to guess. I was like, killing Kaloria is like one of the biggest. It's like one of the bigger ones that you want to kill for sure. So I don't really want to play Billowing Mirage just because like it does give us an Ashwing, but it also like sets them up to make their mask life a little bit easier. So I mean, I could play Tome, like try to do something like that, but I don't really think that's necessary. I don't know, with the sand cover in Arsenal, this is kind of interesting. Maybe I'm just supposed to play the Tome and take the advantage that it provides me. Yes, we're going to pitch 2 cards. So if we pitch Dromai and Billowing Mirage, I can go Sweeping Blow, Ravenous Rabble into Snatch. And then I can attack with the Enderai before I throw the Snatch here. Maybe I'm not supposed to play that there. Hashtag Mask Life. Dude, listen, I'm all about the Mask Life. Like, having Mask in your deck is like... Having Mask of Momentum in your deck is just like a far superior way to play the game, in my opinion. I love Mask of Momentum. That and drawing cards is just like insanely good. It has a lot of value. I don't know how many poppers Drew has in his list here. I have a Burn Them All on top, and I don't think snapping here is worth Burn Them All, so I was like, even if Drew lets us have this, we're having a pretty aggressive start to the game here. We're really starting to like put pressure on Drew here. I mean, block Uvia, pitch Burn Them All for Lost in Thought, play Asvalai, and then come in with the board here. We don't have much of a board left is the problem. The Enderai can very easily be killed this turn, so... interesting. So he did have the Popper. And he chose to keep the Popper over having the... So he could play the Art of War turn, I suppose. This is coming at the Enderai. I like that we're still at 42. I've always been on the other side of this matchup and like this race, and like I have to say, like, it's a little difficult at times, like from like the ninja side. I've never played it as Katsu. I always play it as Fi, but it seems a little tough at times. Like it definitely can be. Is that hits? Wow, that's really good. So this is just for 4. Makes me wonder if this card in his arsenal is a Bonds. I'm just going to play the sand cover here. Like, we're just going to take value off of the sand cover. This is a Bonds in arsenal, then like it's a pretty good turn. My opponent has the Dishonor. Drew has the Dishonor here, but he doesn't actually have the Surging Strike, so it doesn't matter. Boo. Breaking Scales. We'll just go ahead and pick this one. So we'll actually still take 1 here, but now that means Breaking Scales is off the table, so that means that Drew has 1 less option to actually hit me with here. Like, he has 1 less option as far as things are concerned. So if I give Uvia and Iron Rod Gauntlet here, I can still make the play in hand, where I can take a card from his hand and play the Asvalai here. I could alternatively just give Uvia and Lost in Thought and keep my equipment here, and then play Burn Them All Asvalai. I think I like the idea of playing Lost in Thought and Asvalai. I mean, block 5, stay at 41. It doesn't seem bad. I mean, yeah, Kadachiing me makes sense. Like, Drew has the resource laying around, he should. I think I'm gonna block 5 here just to stay ahead, because we're not like really gaining anything. Like it could be one of those hands where like we don't really gain any value from like taking a card from our opponent's hand. So I think attacking our opponent for 1 arcane that we know will come through, and then hopefully 2 physical also comes through. Hopefully Drew doesn't have a popper here. We're looking to block efficiently and keep our life lead and still put pressure on the board here, which is something that I think Dromai does very well. I feel like this is also going to be one of the matchups that, like, while one of these matchups can be the hardest, I also think that, like, this matchup, I have a lot of value in this matchup because I understand my role. Let's block here. I'd like to be able to play the Enderai and then Arsenal to Sink Below if I can. But we'll see what happens. Okay. So Drew just passes, which, like, is almost exactly what we wanted to happen here. So we'll play the Enderai and come in with it. Enderai is one of the tougher dragons for ninjas to deal with, just because they're Kadachis and, like, you know, like, their weapons don't deal as much. Oh, hey. I just got my invite from Twitch to become a Twitch affiliate. That's cool. Just popped up in my thing as I started streaming. That's cool. I'll have to set that up after the stream. This is a really good turn. Hey, Mattis, what's going on, buddy? How are you? You're dead, you're dead. Uh-oh. So if I block with Mask and the Sink Below for my hand, then I think that... I mean, I think that puts me in a pretty decent spot. Because I'm playing around the Ancestral Empowerment here by having this. I mean, I guess I am playing around the Pummel. Let's put this on the bottom. That's pretty good. Like, that's pretty decent. This is also a very good turn for my opponent here. If I block Dromai and Miraging Metamorph, I can just play the Snatch. The problem with Katsu is that when you give them one turn, they'll take all of them. I'm pretty okay taking 4 here because they have no cards in hand to get rid of, so there's no more combo line. Stressed and drinking before the flight to Barcelona? When are you leaving for Barcelona, Mattis? That's pretty good. Thank God we have the Sink Below. Hanging onto the Sink Below there is music to my ears. We're going to keep the Snatch. Snatch is very good for us. We'll come in for 4. Now, Drew is out of equipment block here, so if Drew wants to be able to block this, he's going to have to give us 2 cards or a Flick Flack here. I assume Drew's on Flick Flack if he has them. Probably not on them in this matchup, though. In like 12 hours, so safe with the drinking. I mean, that's fair, buddy. That's fair. Dude, I'm hyped for you, man. I'm hyped that you're going to go to Barcelona, man, and play in Worlds. Have you, did you land on a deck list? I was like, did you land on what you want to play just yet? I was like, I know that you've been going back and forth about it and like kind of beating yourself up a little bit about it, but I haven't really heard you say anything yet. This hand is weird. I don't really think there's a world where it's correct for Drew to just pass there, but I also don't know what Drew has, so... I guess let's just play the Tome in hopes of finding a somewhat playable hand. If I pitch Nourishing Emptiness and Mirror Guy, I can go Billowing Mirage, no Transform, play Passing Mirage, Arsenal the Fate Foreseen. I could alternatively pitch Billowing Mirage and Mirror Guy, throw the Nourishing Emptiness for 6. Pitch Passing Mirage to activate Furnace, and then Arsenal the Fate Foreseen. I think that's a better play. It's just more... I guess I can attack with the... Now, if they have a Popper here, like, I can't really risk... They've had 2 Command and Conquers. I mean, how many Poppers are they really on? Like... I don't know. Let's take the safer line here where we can actually get value out of our Tome. Because if not, we just use Tome to generate some Ash, which is not the end of the world, but it's fine. Signed in Dromai, very disappointed with the list, but what can we do? Had to practice more draft, hoping other Bravos are not running 3AB. 3AB? Good lord. I mean, I don't think Dromai's a bad choice. I was like, I definitely understand being disappointed in your deck choice, because I have been there. I have been there more than once where I've been disappointed with what I have signed up to play for a tournament, but what do you mean you hope they don't have 3AB? I'm really curious to know what that means. Most Bravos only run AB1 into you as Dromai. Banish a Flusterfist. So they did have the last popper. Alright, so Drew did have the last popper. So Drew's hand last turn was Command and Conquer and Art of War. Those were the two cards in his hand. So he had the option of throwing the Command and Conquer at us or just passing. And I think I still would have, well, I don't know. That's a popper. That's a pretty good card if I have a big dragon hand. I don't know. That's a tough decision. I think Drew was faced with a tough decision last turn. Now, looking back on it and knowing what he had in his hand, like, I think he probably, I don't know, like, keeping the popper is weird. Like, I get it from his perspective, but, like, I think it's also, like, more of a poised decision to not keep it. Oh, man, the double strike's going to let Drew kill my Yindarai and get Mask. Oh, no, he's just going for the Yindarai all-in-one right here off the Empowerment. Well, that's 2 Empowerments down. I'll take that. She's not very good into Worlds meta, I can tell you that. All our team info got leaked somehow, that you run 3AB and you deck us out easy, so no more 3 Tumble Tie wins. Oh, wow. How did that... Dude, that sucks that got leaked, man. I'm sorry to hear that, dude. Our testing yesterday was 28-0 for Bravo into Dromai. Other pilots with different approaches. Oh, wow. That's extremely good results. It's also... Dude, I'm really... That sucks about, like, that getting leaked. I'm sorry to hear that, man. That sucks. Like, that's not cool. I don't know how that happened, but that's terrible. I mean, I wouldn't think that people are going to be on 3AB playing Bravo, but take that for what it's worth, man. I haven't really been prepping for Worlds or testing a lot since I knew I wasn't going, so I'm not really sure what's going to be great and what's not. So I guess let's just go ahead and block with a Tumble Tie here. We'll just go ahead and block 3. I guess I could Arsenal the Tumble Tie and try to hang on for another Tome, since, I mean, there are 2 more, or there's 1 more in my deck. I guess there's only 1 more in my deck, so, like, it's not as great of an option. And this is for 5. So, block 6, play Asvalai. I was like, hope this isn't a snatch. Yeah, I'll just go to 27. I'd rather keep the Fate Foreseen for something more important here. We have some young players that like to talk with other teams. All good sport. I'm going to go have fun. We go 0-4, buy some merch, and enjoy some high-end trading. Oh, man. Well, I mean, I get that. Like, having people that like to communicate with other teams and stuff like that. Like, I know... I know what that's like, you know, like to be on a team and like you're trying to keep guarded secrets, but people just like to talk, like, and it's not, none of it's malicious or anything like that. It's just people are friendly and they like to talk to other people. Like, I completely get that. I think you have the right mindset about it, Mattis. I heard a quote one time that was like, never attribute to malice what can be attributed to like incompetence or something like that. And like, I think that's a great saying. I wish that I was able to live by it more often, but unfortunately sometimes my hot head gets the better of me. So, but I think that's a great way to live your life and a great philosophy for things. Sounds bad, but I have 0 time for prep, so I wouldn't be surprised if I was the worst player in the room. Can't win them all. Mattis, I highly doubt you're going to be the worst player in the room, man. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, wow, so arsenaling the Tumultai would have actually been like a super W here. Wow, I would not have guessed that with only one tome left in our deck. But I highly doubt you're going to be the worst player in the room, dude. Like, I don't like, I understand that like Worlds is a lot of really good competition and like good players, but at the same time, like being the worst player in any room, like you have to like be pretty like, I'm not gonna say bad, but like you have to be like pretty low on the totem pole for that to be like your day. Katsu, I was forced to go first, and I misspelled Talishar because I am a putz. I'm hopeful that they don't have a way. Well, I guess they automatically have a way here to make sure that they get the on-hit effect from Mask, which is kind of nice because this means it'll be the first time I've given up a Mask trigger all game, which, I mean, I personally think is like not too bad. I think that's not too shabby personally. I think you underestimate how much time card gamers have. They put in so many hours. Also, there's still a chance I don't get to play. From what I've heard, I have to show up for the registration, but our flight arrives late night Thursday, so I might not get in. Well, okay, well, I mean, if you don't get in, that really sucks. Like, you know, like that would be extremely unfortunate. But I mean, like, I hear you, like, with what you're saying, that like card gamers, like card gamers are gamers for a reason, and they put in a lot of time. I hear you 100%. Oh, let's leave that on top. That's a great way to end our turn. We can dust up Snap and then do that. Like, that's insanely good for us. I hear you, Mattis. I hear you that, like, when people are dedicated, they put in a lot of time and effort into a game. And I'm the same way. I mean, I would say that on any given week, like on a slow, casual week for me, I put in 20 to 30 games just like playing and like, you know, having a good time. But like, so 1 for 4, 0 for 4, and a 1 for 7. Sorry. Anyway, all of that to say, like, I hear what you're saying. Like, as far as like everything's concerned, like it's people put in a lot of time and there's a lot of effort. So, like, I get it. Like, and the people who put in more time are more likely to do well. Like, I feel like that's like almost like kind of guaranteed when it comes to things like that. Like, if you put in more time and you work harder, you are more likely to do well than everybody else in the room, just because of like putting in the time and the effort really goes a long way. As far as everything's concerned. But I mean, I think that there's also like a certain level of like how good are you like in a vacuum at card games. Like I would say that I am traditionally worse than most other people at card games, like just like in a vacuum, like based on pure skill level and how like they deduce the game. I would say that I am not a top tier card player. Almost everything that I'm good at in life is because I have worked my butt off for it. Like, I have had to work every step of the way to get to where I am with every card game I've ever played, Magic included. Like, it's a tough journey. I've put in a lot of time for Nats, and it shows, but had to catch up too much for work the last couple of months. So I've played sub 20 games on Dromai and played like 2 drafts. I mean, dude, I get it. Like, life takes over. Like, it's what happens, you know, like Mattis, it is what happens with life and everybody, man. Like, that's just how it is sometimes. That is just how it is sometimes. So I completely understand. Is this at me? Block Thermi, pitch CNC to play Mirror Guy, and then come in for 2 1-1, and then Arsenal to Fate for Scene. That's what we're looking at here. Didn't ditch the billowing for the Asvali. So Flesh and one, I like your name, just X Flesh and Blood. I'm there for it. I ditched the Asvali there because Asvali is worth 3 points. And a potential mask hit and the Billowing Mirage was worth 4 points because it's 3 points there and then 1 on the ground. So that was my initial thought. That was why I went with that play. It might not have been correct. If you've played a lot more Dromai than me, I'm always open to tips, but that was definitely my thought process there as far as like why I was doing what I was doing. So one of our guys made it to top 8 of PT1 this way, so we might get lucky. I mean, dude, it happens. Like sometimes you guys just get lucky. Like anybody does. Like if you play cards, like cards is about luck on some level. So like sometimes you just get lucky, and that's how it is. Like I think if anybody who's really truly played cards long enough will tell you that too. That like cards is about luck on some level. You can be one of the best players in the world, but if you don't get lucky at certain times, you just won't win big card tournaments. It's just what happens. So hard workers are consistent though. Hard workers are consistent. That is 100% true. Like I like another saying that I'm a firm believer in is that hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard. Like Kevin Durant. I don't know if like Kevin Durant was like, actually the one to say that or not, but oh, could I have blocked the Kodachi there? Was I not paying attention? No, he threw the Kodachi at that. So this is the first mass trigger we've given up all game, so I feel pretty good about that, but I'd have kept as they have to commit to killing it or consistent arcane on the board personally. Now that makes sense. Like I'm definitely not saying you're wrong by any means, Flesh and Blood. Like I hear you. Like that's a solid reason to put Asvali on the board, and something that I debated. One of the first things that I do every single turn is I go, how can I use my resources? Like I look to say, what is my maximum damage output? And then I always I always go for like, how much damage can I put on the chain this turn? Which I feel like is a little different with Dromai because it's more of like a permanent based style strategy than it is anything. So like you're not always looking to just be like putting as much damage as you can. You're also looking to say, how many permanents can I add to the board that you have to deal with? So I think that's definitely a good point. The second thing that I look for every turn is resource efficiency. I look for damage, like total average value that I can get throughout my turn, and then I look for my resource efficiency after that. It's pilot diff. What is this? Are we blocking this? They've already hit with mass. Does this matter? Does this matter at all? I don't think so. Like, yeah, I just don't think this matters. Like we have a 4, 8, 9, and 7. We have a 16-point turn here, and our opponent likely doesn't have a popper, so I'm just gonna take as much of this as I can here and use my fate for seeing if I feel like I need to for anything. Like again, this is just 3. We're so far ahead that we can just take the damage here. Permanents on board are way OP. Dromai, you have to see what the permanent on board makes them do. Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. The permanents on the board definitely affect the tempo of the game and like how your opponent is forced to play. Dromai is definitely good at like snowballing the board, if you will, and then like winning over like a massive card, like accumulated advantage here. Why didn't Drew throw the dishonor at me? I thought he went and got one this turn. I may have missed that. I don't know. I may have missed that. I'm not sure. Remember when people were freaking out when Ninja's having easy mode with Dromai? So Mattis, I have to admit, I was one of those people at first. Like when Uprising first came out, like we were playing like everybody was like trying to figure out Dromai, and I was playing Fi, and I was playing like a decently well-tuned list for the time, and I remember like bullying everybody at our locals. Like just like I remember like I played against this guy who's like he still plays a lot of Dromai, and he's a very good player, always has been. but I remember at that time we played like 10 games, and I think I won 10 in a row. Like, we were trying to figure the matchup out, and at that point in time, we were like, it can't be done. Like, it can't be done. Like, you can't win this matchup. And it's funny to, like, look it back and think about how wrong we were. Because the matchup has evolved a lot over the last, like, you know, when did this come out? Like, last September or earlier? Because we drafted this at Nats last year. So, I mean, it's just funny to kind of, like, look at this matchup and see how it's evolved. So Burn Them All is like guaranteed damage here. But Thermite takes a card out of their hand, Ashwing puts them to 1, Snatch takes 2 cards out of their hand and leaves them with 1. This puts them to 1, and then they give me a card and they give me a card. So I can add guaranteed lethal to the board next turn and then take 2 cards out of their hand. I think that's a better play here. If I had snaps, we could like potentially take a different line here. I guess I should lead with the Thermite here. Like, if they do have some random popper. I mean, I guess if they have a random popper, I should lead with the Ashwing and leave the Thermite in play. I guess that's a better play. I don't know. I don't think it's like super. Like, they've seen all 3 Command and Conquers, and like, I can't imagine with 8 cards in their deck, there's more poppers left in their deck. But it's funny because like we're also like about to fatigue them. Yeah, we'll get rid of this Ravenous Rabble here. That seems good. We'll get rid of the old Rabble Babble here. She's so good. I thought he was going for a Dishonor. Dromai is a lot like 5 at the attack stick on the board. So Flesh and Blood, I think that's a really good way to look at it, actually, is that Dromai is a lot like Fi. Like, you know, you still play Blaze Headlong, you still play Snatch, like, you still play these good value-oriented cards at, like, 0 for 4. Like, kill the Thermite because they have to keep the board clear. Makes sense. I mean, we just have it, so... yeah, I'm just gonna play the Fate Foreseen here because it's the correct thing to do. Sure, we'll leave that on top. It doesn't matter. So play the Caloria Pitching Sigil, which will just end the game because of the Arcane. Alright, so it took us 13 turns, but we ended up getting there. We were about to fatigue Drew if we didn't have him with the Arcane, so... but yeah, so I actually feel like Dromai is like actually pretty similar to Fi in a lot of ways. It's just determining, like, it's just different play patterns and play lines, and like you play the deck in a very different way. Like you play a lot of similar cards, like with like, you know, like Blaze Headlong and Snatch and Ravenous Rabble. Like a lot of these cards you're still trying to get the 0 for 4 value off of, and you're still trying to pressure your opponent in a lot of ways, but it's a very different way of doing it, which is like super interesting in my opinion. I think Dromai is like pretty cool because of that, personally. It's easy mathematics. Dragons are such a big life swing. Oh, dude, dragons are a huge life swing. Huge life swing because they get to attack and they have to be attacked to die. Like most of them are around 6 HP swing. If you don't make Ash Wings, they struggle. So if you're talking about like the ninjas, yeah, so like Ash Wings are not good. I cut Rake the Embers for that matchup because I don't like Ash Wings into ninjas, because I have personally used Kodachis to just absolutely have free mass triggers and to keep the board clear. So I think it's I think Ash Wings are like pretty bad in the ninjas personally. Risk the Ash Wing just in case. Yeah, so it was definitely correct to lead on the Ash Wing there. It didn't matter what we did there, but it was definitely correct to lead on the Ash Wing. Like, we were so far ahead that like I don't know that another popper would have blown the game for us, but leading on the Ash Wing was definitely correct there. Dromai has really come around. If you can get the Ash the first few turns, which Time and gold really help now. Oh yeah. Tome and gold like are like really good at helping with that, and like it almost like keeps it to where like you go up 2 Ash at the beginning of the game, and then you're just kind of perpetually staying up 2 to 3. Like, and I really like that. I really like that about Dromai. Like the people who have been working on Dromai like since the beginning have like really come like such a long way with the list. And like the first one that jumps out of my mind is Mara Ferris. Like Mara Ferris was the first person to like really push the Empress Dromai like style, like beat them down like style aggro deck, which I always thought was really interesting. So like I really like the Dromai deck. It's really come a long way. It's funny that Fi was the hero to force. Now he's arguably the least powerful of the 3 Uprising heroes. So it's funny that you say that, Flesh and Blood, because like I was having this discussion with somebody the other day, and we were talking about like now that the set's been out a year, what's the weakest hero in from Uprising in CC? And somebody said Iyslander, which was really interesting to me. Somebody said Dromai in a room full of people, and then somebody said Fi, and it turned into like this like anarchy of arguing about what was actually like the least powerful hero from Uprising. After the dust has settled and after everything's happened. And that argument went a few different directions, but I could definitely see an argument for saying that Fi is the weakest hero. So, like, do I want Crown and Seeker's Mitts here to be able to stop this? Like, to be able to block extra here? Like, am I just looking at Crown and Mitts, I think, is the play here, if I had to guess. Probably don't want Remembrance. We're probably not really looking to, like, use Remembrance. We're probably not looking to Tumultai. Dominia seems like fine. We can probably cut Tomes since they don't block. The Dust is fine, I guess. Like, it's a 3 block. Lost in Thought seems like it can have some pretty decent play. I don't know. This is interesting. Maybe I'm just supposed to cut the Necria here. I'm just going to start letting my opponents know that I'm sideboarding. Like, I understand that, like, a lot of people have their matchups built in. Maybe we're supposed to cut... No, maybe we're supposed to, like, do this. Cut the Dust and then leave in a Passing Mirage. Leave in the Warmonger's Diplomacy here, I guess. Have 2 blues in our list. I don't know. Iyslander is definitely not the weakest. I mean, I think that Iyslander is the strongest hero to come out of Uprising, personally. Let's try it like this. I have no idea if this is correct or not, but let's try it like this. I think that Iyslander is definitely the strongest hero from that set, like, without a question. What's up, Z? How are you, buddy? And yes, I am learning Dromai against... That is what everybody on YouTube voted for, so that is what we're doing. Let's just block 5. The members of YouTube have spoken, and they picked Dromai this week, so we are on Dromai. Which I'm kind of excited about because I need to learn more about Dromai, like, as a hero in general, so kind of like that, honestly. He still feel like Fi is the weakest in the current state. I mean, Fi is very good. I guess I probably should have popped Mitts when they passed there. Like, Fi being the weakest in the current metagame state. It's weird because, like, Iyslander and Dromai, like, really play against each other. So if I pitch Dust Up to play Lost in Thought, I can then just throw Miraging Metamorph, pitching the Dust Up. Or I can play Dust... I think I have to, like, play Lost in Thought and then play the Dust Up, arsenaling the Miraging Metamorph is probably my play. I kind of like that play. I think this, like, lets us try to disrupt their hand a little bit here. So they have E-Strike, Frailty, and Spire Sniping. So take their resources here, leave them with buffs, so which means they just... think we're just taking their resources here. I don't know if that's the correct decision or not, but I kind of like it here. I definitely don't know if that's the correct decision or not, but we'll go ahead and transform one of these. I feel like this is definitely a matchup where we want to get our value out of our Ash Wings here. They probably don't have too many poppers, so we're looking to utilize our Ash Wings here and make our game plan just a little bit better. So they're going to go pre-med. Interesting. Figured they would have went Lace, play the Sleep Dart for 14, which is a pretty good turn all the way around. Oh, Fi definitely had his heyday when he came out, for sure. I don't know how I should feel about this Lost in Thought. Card's so mid in all the top decks, in all the top matchups. I mean, so this was a 2-of from Pittsburgh this past weekend. Like it was a 2-of from Pittsburgh this past weekend. So what? This is going to be for 11. So 3, 6, 9, 11. Throw the Miraging Metamorph. I mean, I don't hate this line of play. We're making another Ash and getting value out of our equipment here. We're saving a point off the Frailty. We're saving... They already had a Ponder from the Lost in Thought. So I guess we're just really saving 1 point by blocking there efficiently. We're also like saving the Ash generation here that we have. So our opponent goes to 29. I don't know. Like we need to try and put the pressure on pretty early. Like Lost in Thought doesn't seem terrible. Like it's definitely a below rate card, but I think it's designed to be played on like a bigger turn. And I think my hand was just really awkward and I needed to be able to play it right then and there. So I think that forced me into that situation there. One day Prism will be played. Dude, Z, I honestly, like, Prism starts at 32. You can't convince me that Prism's bad. And I know you're not saying that by any means, but, like, I don't think that Prism's bad at all. I just think that, like, we as a community have not truly figured her out yet. And so I think that's, like, really what we're trying to figure out here. I mean, I could just take 11 and let them take a card. Yeah, like, I think it's fine. I think it's, like, perfectly fine to just take 11 and join them at 29. We've used our lead, so, like let's use our lead to try and, like, add to the board and, like, try to regain our lead here, so. Loss is solid, Nets and Ash, and you peel their hand. The knowledge is clutch. So stripping a popper and, like, having the knowledge is, like, very important, in my opinion. Like, I do agree that that's, like, very good. So they can't actually, so I could lead on Snatch and then hope they just don't give me 2 cards, or hope they, like, but I don't really think that's the play. I think we're definitely just supposed to throw the Command and Conquer here. Like, I get to go up to, like, 4 Ash. I don't really lose any of my cards. Them taking the Rabble was probably the best card. I think it was Rabble or Command and Conquer were their choices right there, so. Yeah, so, like, using Lost in Thought to, like, tech your biggest turn, or, like, to tech a really solid turn, I think is, like, a really good play, personally. Like, I actually, like, really like that. But, I mean, like, it just lets them replace their card, so, like, I haven't done the math, but, like, it feels like a below-rate card off the top of my head, but, again, that's just a feeling I have that's not actually based off of numbers or science or anything, so take that for what it's worth. I just got absolutely crushed by an Azalea with this exact loadout as Fi. This exact loadout. You got crushed by an Azalea? Oh, you're saying they're playing this exact loadout? Oh, gotcha. And you're playing Fi. I mean, I feel like if Azalea goes red in the ledger, Jim, like, that's just too much to come back for. That's just too much to come back from. What do they get? A Sleep Dart, which is going to be for 8. I guess let's get a Command and Conquer. Let's discard the Dust Up. We have to decide which card we want to keep in our deck. I imagine keeping the Miraging Metamorph is the best card to keep in our deck. So, the question here is, do I take 10 to go Asvali? I could go Metamorph, Snap, activate Furnace into Command and Conquer. I think I'm better off just blocking. If I block Asvali, pitch Mitts, and then play Sand Cover, I stay Ash the same. Like, I don't actually like lose any Ash here, and I do get to opt one. And my turn is still come in. Oh, we'll leave that on top for sure. And then I'm still going to come in with an Ashwing here. So we'll play this. And then we'll take nothing here from the Sleep Dart, which is kind of nice. Now, they do have a Ponder token, so there might have been something worth to throwing the Command and Conquer, but they just have Trench Up, so like we're not really going to be able to like actually get them here. So Prism is starting at 32, means they found something during testing, and the dev that required her to start at Kano numbers. No, 100%. Like, absolutely, dude. Like, that's like always been my opinion. If a hero starts at a lower life total than 40, it's because something is really good about them, and we have not figured out how to break it yet. I am like a tried and true believer that that is like fact, not opinion. Like, and I would argue that point with almost anybody. I would argue that point with like almost anybody. Card does nothing into Bravo, Mirror, Ninjas, and Horrible into Azalea or Icelander. I don't see it. I mean, if Bravo has like a 1 or 2 popper hand, like you can just sit on Lost in Thought until like you find a Chromite, and then like if they don't have triple popper, you can take it out of their hand. I mean, and against Ninjas is actually pretty good at like taking a snatch or like taking a you could take the resources with it. You could take a popper. Like I don't know, Mattis. Like I feel like it has like a pretty decent amount of utility, man. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's like the bee's knees or anything, but like, I mean, I think it has a pretty decent amount of utility here. Yeah, they found out the infinite loop with the arc light. Worried you survived too long to get it. Oh, there's an infinite loop with arc light? Is that a thing? I'm like not even trolling you right now. Is that really a thing? Because that would be pretty cool if that's actually a thing. So what is this for 11? Dominate. Yeah, so we're just gonna have to throw the Command and Conquer here. So I guess it depends on what we have over here a little bit. I guess let's block with a Snatch to get one actually in our graveyard in case they codex us and we need to get one back. I mean, we have to take 9 here, which is unfortunate. And we get a Frailty token. But I do get to throw Command and Conquer and then set up a Fate Foreseen in my arsenal, which gives us a little bit of power into like actually playing a little bit of defense and then trying to flip. So they can trench this away and go to 23. Like they don't have to actually like let this stay here and get blown up. They don't have to give us 2 cards either, but they might. Depends on what their hand looks like, I guess. We didn't know about Royal Dromai till Worlds. And the dev games, we first saw the crown and a gold to pitch for Ash turn 0. I mean, I think, yeah, like, I think that's what a lot of people do still. Like, I mean, I don't think that, like, pitching for gold on turn 0 is bad at all. Like, the tome has, like, definitely made the headpiece so much better, like, by far. Just for 7, and then we're going to Arsenal here. Okay, so how can we maximize this turn? Let's really think about this. So I think it's play Sink Below, put Sweeping Blow on the bottom, And then the worst part of our turn would be play Dromai, pitch our red to play Billowing Mirage into 3, 6, 7, 8. And we're setting up three dragons on the board, and we still have our Fate Foreseen in Arsenal. But if we draw something better, we can actually play the card that we draw here. I mean, I think this is a pretty good turn. If they have Codex, then keeping the sink below definitely rewards me for my decision. Let's put this on the bottom. I mean, I think I'm still incentivized to take 3 and attack for 4 instead of blocking 3 here. So, yeah, there's that one angel that keeps returning Arclight to the top of the deck, so you attack for 4 and loop it, but then again, arcane damage just kills the ward, so it's not even that good. Oh, I didn't even know that was a combo. That's pretty cool. Since they fixed how attacking into auras is popping rune chance at arcane work. Oh, okay. That's neat. I didn't know that that was a thing, to be honest. Hey, what's up, dude? How are you? The Pitch Fab. I enjoyed watching your guys' games the other night. Was fun to get to go watch you guys play. You guys were playing, had a little blitz action going on the other night. I was like, I enjoyed watching it. Appreciate you coming by and hanging out, man. Our opponent's hand is probably pretty good here, if I had to guess. They're just taking all of our damage. I like that we're setting up multiple board permanents here. We still have our Crown of Providence to block with if we need it, so... And we have some good 3 blocks in our hand, so hopefully this doesn't get too bad for us. The loop works for Dromai since the arcane is an attack trigger specifically. It's not good versus rune chance, though. That's cool loop. I feel like, I wonder if somebody's made like a YouTube short about that loop or something. Like, because I'd be curious to like watch it and like kind of watch somebody walk through it. If I'll look and see, and if somebody has, I might have to learn it and then make one about it, because I think that's a cool thing for people to know how to do. Like, I think that's an important piece for people to know how to do. Rain Razors is tough to beat here. Let's just block 3, and then we'll play the Fate Foreseen here. If they want to reload, we'll force them to have it. We'll put that on the bottom. Like, I don't... They learned their lesson with OG Prism and Chain. Some mechanics require sacrifice. Same with Dash.io. The deck is way too insane, and I would be surprised if the new cards from... And I wouldn't be surprised if few cards from new sets break her. I can see that, Mattis. Like the new Dash is very powerful. Like, I think that she is very strong and has a lot of like really good like synergy in play. Like, I think she's a cool hero. I'm curious to see like what people do with her at Worlds, honestly. Thanks for stopping by. You didn't get on Thursday with an incrementally better setup. Oh, cool. New mic and new lights. Dude, that's awesome. So I streamed without light, like without a light for so long. And then like, I just like one of the things that I kept reading is people would be like, get a light, like get a light, like trust me, like get a light. Like, so I've always like thought it was kind of funny to when people talk about like buying lights for their setup, I always laugh to myself because for like so long I streamed without one, and I feel like you can just see me so much better with my light on. This is a tough like thing to think about here, because like I can add the Enderite to the board. I can take 5, go to 13, add the Enderite to the board, and then just pass. I could throw Command and Conquer even though they won't have an arsenal. So if I block with Command and Conquer, am I going to Arsenal Command and Conquer or not here? You know what? Let's block with the Enderai. Let's take 5, go to 12. And then I'll actually pitch my Command and Conquer to Furnace here before the turn's over, because I played my Sink Below, and I can make an Ash. And then what I'll actually do is I'll just Arsenal my Yenderai, and if there's ever a turn where I can actually keep a card, then I'll be able to like have multiple options. So we'll just attack with the Dromai here since that's our only option, and if they have a Pauper, they have a Pauper, I guess. So we're playing Dromai on Talishar, and we're playing against Azalea, and we are going second, and we won our game against Katsu. Okay. Our opponent's probably just going to go to 17 here. Yeah. I mean, we're keeping this game a lot closer than we did the last one. I also, like, we're on Crown this time around, and last time we were not on Crown, so... I mean, this is a pretty good hand. Like, if I can block with Thermai, I can pitch the Nourishing Emptiness to play Yenderai, attack with the Chromai, and then if they don't pop it, play the Snatch with the extra action point, which is pretty strong. I think I want to bottom the Sigil here. Or do I want to bottom the Sigil? I think I do. I don't know if that's correct or not, but I think I do here. Just read Avalon Archangel. Just read Avalon Archangel of Avalon and Arclight Sentinel. It's pretty easy to figure out. That's fair enough, Mattis. A lot of cards are definitely RTC. Read the card and figure it out. That is for sure. I've learned that a lot with cards over the last few years here. I wanted to play Dash.io, but teammates banned this option for me. They think it's not good enough for Worlds. That's interesting. I was honestly like kind of high on like that being like my pick for Worlds, honestly. So it's interesting that like your teammates were like telling you no. Did they play a knock? Did they just in the dark do that to me? Oh, they must have saw it on top from the Great Bow. I mean, it's a lot of damage, but it's not the end of the world. We're not dead, so we can still continue to play here. Play the Yenderai. We can try to get some pretty good value out of our turn here this turn. Hopefully, anyway. I didn't stream with lights for like literally 5 years. I mean, dude, I get it. Like, it's one of those things. It's just like, I don't know. It's like one of those things you don't think about needing, I feel like, on a lot of like levels. So like, I get it. I was the same way. So since it's inconsistent and you have some problem with Bravos and Reinars, you get easily decked out, and figuring it out in 3 days is impossible, really. I do feel like figuring out how to play anti-fatigue with that deck in 3 days would be really, really hard. What if I don't want to see you? Then you came to the wrong place, Nathaniel. Then you came to the wrong place. Oh, man. We'll attack with the Ashwings first, and then if they take this, we'll attack with the Yenderai at the end here. We still have 6 Ash going, so we're not in a terrible spot. We've also built up quite a bit of board here, so if our opponent doesn't manage to kill us in the next couple of turns, we will be in a spot where we can like really attempt to like end the game. Now the problem is we're at 4 and we do not have a defense reaction in Arsenal. Thankfully we drew one, so if they dominate something we can minimum block 5, which should keep us from dying, I hope, but we'll see what happens. But it's all max rarity. Oh, your dash deck is all max rarity? Well, that's pretty cool, honestly. What did we hit, a Miraging Metamorph? Discard the Billowing Mirage, play Chromai. So if I discard the Billowing Mirage here, I can block Sink Below and Flamescale Furnace on this because there are no buffs here. So I get to block 5, discard this, play the Chromai, and then I actually get to... And then I actually get to pitch this for Miraging Metamorph, which I'm going to be honest, short of them having multiple poppers, should end the game. Like, I may not actually end the game, but like short of them having 2 poppers, I think we're in a very good spot here. Honestly, I might just put the Command & Conquer on the bottom. See what else we can find. Plus, it keeps the CNC in my deck. So depending on what they go to, this could actually, like, we could just really end the game here. It'd feel good to win this game after losing one last night. Dude, if your Dash.io deck is max rarity, that's just awesome, dude. We will probably be posting a lore video and our first YouTube short this week, testing a couple content streams to see what we like. Dude, that's awesome. I followed your all's YouTube the other night as well, just because I like any content I can get my hands on any platform I like to watch. So I made sure to follow your all's or sub on your all's YouTube as well so I could see it. My wife's Retina Ledgers and Nox should be in the mail this week. Looking forward / not looking forward to her deck after that. Oh man, I think all of us feel for that a little bit. Honestly, man, like I'm excited for your wife because that's awesome. And like I just remember how excited I was like when I got into card games in general and how much fun it was to like, you know, like really get to that point with card games in general, like where I was able to like, you know, like when I started getting my cards in the mail, how excited I was. So I know what that's like. So block 3, take 4. Like the best case scenario here is that they go to 1 and keep a card in their hand. I mean, they can go to 1 here, but they're just committing to basically being dead to almost anything next turn. Sand cover is so good here. Sand cover is insane. Yay, we win. I mean, we play this. Ash, take a card out of their hand. I guess we take the Sleep Dart here, and then we just come in with the Chrome Eyes. So, Lost in Thought cleared the way for a Pauper here, but Lost in Thought was kind of just like win more at this point in the game, I feel like. Like, it was definitely just win more from this spot. Like, yeah, like I don't really think that was going to be super relevant having the Lost in Thought there. Like that would have easily just served as like another dragon or a 1 for 3 with go again. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I was like, it feels good to win that one after last night. Left dragons on the board. And I snowballed. And then got ahead early and was able to block cleanly throughout the game. So I was making notes for both my Katsu and my Azalea game right there. Yeah, winning the Azalea game, honestly, like that one felt really good. I like winning that game. That one had a good feeling to it. All right, 2-0 so far. So through my 5 games that I played with Dromai, I'm now 4-1. I mean, Dromai feels like it has like a very high natural power level to it. It's just making sure that I'm making the correct decisions here. So Crown of Dominion to help me get ahead early, I think is the play here. I'm also going second. So I could just run Crown of Providence and run Mitts here again to like get ahead on Ash pretty early. That could also be the play that I'm going to make here. Like, but I don't feel like I'll need to block as much against this deck, and I feel like I can probably fatigue them if I need to, but I don't know. Like, the Max deck like has the anti-fatigue piece of playing the mech suit, so that's kind of tough. I don't think this is a Quell deck. Maybe this is just a Seeker's Mitts and Dominion game. I don't know. Chat, what do you guys think? I'm open to interpretation here. Remembrance seems not that great. Dominia seems pretty good. I don't really like Necria, but just being honest, like Necria is like a super mid dragon in general, in my opinion. We'll cut the Warmongers. The dusts do not seem relevant. I think we need Tumultai because if they are on the mech suit, then we want to be able to kill it. So I lost an Azuri game with my Bolton today during lunch. Got them to 6. Then they isolated a CNC. Their last CNC in their deck. Lost by 1 turn. I mean, dude, that's what Azuri does at the end of the game. Like, isolates at the end of the game are really good, dude. Like, you have to be really careful against Azuri, because if you're trying to play defense, all of a sudden, like if you're trying to like play too much offense and you go too low, all of a sudden, like, you can't play the defense you want, which is a little tough. Maybe we don't want sand covers in this matchup. Maybe Fates and Sinks are just fine here, just by themselves. And maybe I don't want Passing Mirages. I don't know, like, Passing Mirage seems fine. There's quite a few poppers in their deck. We'll just leave those in. Let's just run the 64 card special here. I'm not really sure what else we're looking for here, so... like, I don't really know what else we're, like, really looking to play here, so we'll just leave it like this and see what happens. Yeah, I guess we'll just sink below this, but... so they're definitely going for the max, for the... they're definitely going for the Mechanoid plan here late game. I'm surprised they're on Accelerator. Maybe that tells me they're not on the... maybe that tells me they're not on that game plan. I don't know. So, I mean, let's just play Tome, I guess. Like, I don't know. Let's just get out there. We them boys. So if I pitch Fate Foreseen and Command and Conquer, I can go Rake the Embers, Crow my Rabble, or I could pitch Fate Foreseen and Rake the Embers, go Crow my Rabble, Command and Conquer. I like that better, I think. So let's go Rabble. We know there's no blues in our deck, so we know we just literally can't miss here. Yeah, I played really sloppy the whole game. I haven't updated my Fab deck to my new adjustments, so it felt awkward. I need to update it once my son falls asleep. Currently laying in bed with him. Dude, that's awesome. I mean, like, it's... like, I'm not being facetious in any way. Like, it's cool that, like, you're hanging out with your kid, man. Like, probably a lot of people who aren't doing that when they should be. So that's awesome, man. I'm glad. Sounds like you're a good father, brother, and that's awesome, man. That's... as much as I love cards, you will very often hear me say that life is more important than cards. So I was like, there are a lot of times that, like, if something comes up or something, like, I will drop cards or I will drop streaming if I need to like, be there and do whatever needs to be done. So that's awesome, man. But I also definitely understand your list feeling awkward because you haven't updated it yet. I have been there. Oh, yeah, give us a piece of equipment. Heck yeah. That's a W for the old Dromai deck. So play Mirror Guy. We'll Ash neutral. We'll play Burn Them All. And then we'll come in for 2 and 1 Arcane. That, honestly, they probably have Accelerator for the Arcane Barrier. I was not thinking about that. I was considering why they weren't just playing the base legs piece, but they probably have it for AB1, and I think that's smart. And then we'll just throw Rabble here. Like, I don't really see a reason to keep Rabble. Let's go ahead and get rid of the Rabble. I think that's our best play. Okay, so they're going to kill the Mirror Guy here. I mean, the floor of our turn is block 8 and throw Dust Up. And we can always just make an Ash and not transform it if we need to. Appreciate it. Being a good dad is easy. It's super frustrating seeing bad parents. know how low the bar is. I mean, I'm not a parent personally, but I can imagine that's a very frustrating thing for you to just see as a person. Like, I imagine that's honestly very, very hard to look at and see people being bad parents. I believe that, man. So yeah, I mean, let's just block 8 and we'll just. Okay, so there's one mech suit gone. There might have been a more aggressive line there to take, but I think that blocking 8, I think that blocking 8 and throwing Dust Up is completely fine. Like, our opponent could assemble the Mechanoid as early as, like, next turn if they get it, so if they have it in their arsenal, it just depends on, like, what their hand looks like. Let's go the Dust Up and the Rabble here. We want to clear the way for any copies of, for any copies of, the Nourishing Emptiness that we might draw. So if I block Billowing Mirage, no, I'm sorry. If I block Uvia, and then pitch Lost in Thought for Seeker's Mitts, we'll be staying at 2 Ash, and then I can pitch their Mai to play Billowing Mirage, add an Ashwing. I think that's a perfectly fine line. Like, I don't know what else they're going to be playing, but I do know that blocking this is important, because this is just, like, the most explosive card that this deck can offer. I think we'll bottom that. I don't really have any interest in seeing Sigil right now. Okay, so I guess if they have it now, which is pretty terrifying, just, like, real talk. The mech suit is, like, extremely terrifying. The only thing that we do have going for us is that we have quite a few defense reactions and sigils, and we might just be able to outlast it. Interesting. So 1 Arcane coming at you, sir. So they had 2 poppers. Kind of figured they did the way they blocked, but I still think we're just trying to get those out of there. Mirage, Command and Conquer, and Metamorph. So now we have all of our attacks cleared up. So no boost here. That is how many poppers so far? 1, 2, 3. That's 4 poppers so far. And they've boosted over none, so... Right, because there's 3 here. So... This is tough. Block, Sweeping Blow, and burn them all. Throw 7 at us. Or throw 7 at them. I could alternatively just play the Chromai and then Arsenal the Metamorph here. I don't know. Like, we have a couple of options. Like, we have a couple of options of what we could be doing this turn. I don't like playing the Chromai because we only have 2 Ash. Let's just go up an Ash and throw for 7. And if they pop this, then we'll just make a copy of Burn Them All, and we'll just keep both of them and pass. It's just like extra arcane damage we're getting here. So just keep putting the pressure on our opponent in the best way that we can. Man, my chair is on one tonight. So our opponent blocks with a high octane. Interesting. I guess we'll get rid of the Sink Below. We can't shuffle that back in or anything. I mean, I'm pretty inclined just to take 4 here, if I'm being honest. Rake the Embers and to keep an Ash and to pitch, like, so pitch Asvalai to play Rake the Embers, and then pitch, I mean, I could just block Asvalai and then throw Nourishing Emptiness, which would be cool, but I think I'd rather take the upside of getting Rake the Embers on board and, like, really trying to, like, put my opponent's back against the wall here. All right, no popper. No popper. No popper. To quote a very dear friend of mine, show me the money. Obviously, I'm kidding. I can no way, in any way, claim to be friends with Jerry Maguire. Although it's a fantastic movie if you've not seen it. I would highly recommend watching Jerry Maguire to anybody who likes like drama movies, like comedy drama movies in general. Did they have the popper? Boo. Rake, burn. What, one more card? Guess let's keep the Dromai. Okay, so they have another popper in their hand. Okay, no, they don't have another popper. They're just loading the pistol a bunch of times, and they're going to shoot an Ash Swing here. Okay, so there's another Nourishing Emptiness on top, which you love to see. I think Carly's in the other room talking about me yelling. Which, to be fair, is like not an uncommon occurrence. It sounds like she's talking about like when we're laying in bed. Oh no, oh no, the Ravenous Rebel. Ah, I cleared the chain to play Rake the Embers. That was stupid. Oh my god, Zach, that was so dumb. All right, well, that was definitely a punt right there. That was not good play for me at all. Man, that was just dumb. That was just not smart at all. So, block Nourishing Emptiness. Play Burn Them All, attack, pitch the Command and Conquer to Furnace, and then Arsenal Dominia and try to set up for like a bigger Dragon-y turn. So my opponent's just waiting until they draw the mech suit here. Like, clearly that's what's going on at this point. They don't have it in their arsenal. Feels like their last high octane, if I had to guess. I could really just try to get spicy here, and I could just throw the Command and Conquer at them to make this interesting. But I think the Dominia play is going to be a better play for me overall, so let's just try to come in like this. If they don't have it, they won't have it. Can't fatigue Max? I mean, yeah, we're definitely not going to fatigue Max. Like, that's for sure. Like, the whole, like, mech suit is, like, anti-fatigue, like, very much so. So, like, even if they're not on the mech suit, like, I think it's very hard to fatigue this deck. But I think we need to try and play more aggressively here to get into the game, for sure. What happened with the Rabble turn? Oh, so the Rabble turn was... So this is definitely the last high octane. I attacked with the Rabble, then I played Rake the Embers to break the combat chain so that my Ravenous Rabble was in the graveyard. So then my Nourishing Emptiness didn't have Dominate, and I didn't gain my 5th Intellect. It was just me sequencing things in extremely poor fashion. Was not a good play by me at all. Let's draw a card here. Miraging Metamorph is not a bad one to draw. Let's go... If we throw Snatch, they probably just give us the Mechanoid here, if I had to guess. I don't know. This is a tough turn. Let's throw Snatch and see how they block. I'm just going to snap this regardless here. Like, I think snapping a Snatch is like a perfectly fine play to make. So we go snap to give go again. Play Dominia. Let's attack with Dominia here. I got you. It was like me using something from my soul before using Celestial Cataclysm, preventing myself from playing it. I mean, I get that. Yeah, that is unfortunate, man. That is unfortunate. So if I take the blue here, my opponent's hand is like pretty bad. Taking the Twin Drive leaves them with a playable hand. So I guess if I take the blue, it's just making their hand worse. I'm just going to take the blue here. I think that's our better play here. They didn't have a popper, so there was no reason to take any of their other cards. Let's just take their resources and make their hand as awkward as we possibly can. We get 3 Ash Wings for free here that we're aware of. And then let's come in for 7. So we're just going to try and put our opponent on the back foot as much as we possibly can here. That's got to be our play from here. Or something like that, because I've never done that before. Hey, man, listen. No judgment here, even if you have. No judgment here, I promise. I promise you that. Brother, I more than anybody, I think that plays card games has made so many mistakes. I have made so many mistakes playing card games, man. Like, it comes with the territory after a while. Like, and I have made more mistakes than most. Let's go Yenderai, then we'll go double passing. Probably just going to kill Dominia here if I had to guess, and then try to set up for his high octane turn this turn. So the fun part is that he's blocked with this twice. He can't just give me this to block my Caloria. He actually has to give me a card. And this is an item, right? This is an item, so if he actually doesn't block this, we can take this. I cannot tell you how crazy this is going to be if we actually get to take this from our opponent here. So we're going to play the Caloria, and then we're going to play the Mirror guy because we don't want it to have Phantasm, and then get you. God, please don't let my opponent realize how this works. Please don't let my opponent realize that this works this way. Please. I'm begging you. I was looking at previous games now that I'm caught up. I'm a Prism gamer, and I've been a fan of playing her. So I played Prism. I played, like, the original Prism a lot when she came out. Or, like, not when she came out because she came out before I started playing. But I played the original Prism a lot, honestly, man. Prism, like the original Prism was a ton of fun to play, and I liked that she could interact on both sides of the turn cycle, even if she didn't necessarily. How are we going about this? Do I want to throw 2 here? I don't think so. I like that she could interact on both sides of the turn cycle, even if she necessarily didn't all the time. I enjoyed that was something she could do. So Z, I completely understand, man. And I've tried to play new Prism quite a few times. Like, I've tried to play new Prism quite a few times, and like I've just never really been able to like make her feel like I'm doing anything insane, like insanely broken. Personally, so there's still 2 Chromais left in the deck. I mean, but oh, he's killing Mirror Guy here. No, he's killing Caloria, and now he's going to attack us a bunch of times. I don't know. Maybe I'm just supposed to keep this and end my turn with it. Like, there's quite a bit of damage to take here. Yeah, this is a lot of damage to take. Gosh, the max Mechanoid plan is so good. Yeah, I hate it. We're gonna go to 9. I don't know if this is right. Honestly, it feels like it's completely not right, but we're just We're trying to live in gamers paradise over here. Living in a gangster's paradise. Keep spending most their lives living in a gangster's paradise. So pitch, snatch, and Dromai. Billowing Mirage for 3. Kyloria. You can give us a card in this if you want. I was like, but they have to give us that and a card. There's 0 copies of High Octane left in their deck, I'm pretty sure. There's the one they just played, there's the one they blocked with, and then didn't they banish one earlier? Am I going crazy? Okay, so there's 1 copy of High Octane left. I could have sworn that they banished one. I must be going crazy. I don't know. If they don't pop this, then I will definitely be attacking with the Mirror Guy at the end of the chain. I'm interested in just throwing as much damage as I can here. I don't think the Mirror Guy is buying me that much value if they're keeping 3 cards. Keeping 3 cards in an arsenal, I mean, means I'm more than likely dead here, but... Okay, so they did have a popper. I mean, that's fine. I bought another card out of their hand, so I'll take it, honestly. Let's go to 8. Block 5, go to 7, and then take 6, go to 1. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to win if I just, like, if I block here. Probably not going to win regardless. Yeah, the High Octane turn was absolutely crazy, man. Like, I mean, like I knew it was coming because, like, that's their end game. Like, that is Max's end game here. The one thing that we have going for us is that potentially they don't have a popper. They do only have 12 cards left in their deck. So, but we're at 1. I think the overpower is probably going to get us here. So we need to draw a defense reaction right here, or a sigil. And we haven't played a sigil, right? I don't think I've played a sigil. And I did pitch one to the bottom, and I think there's only 2 sigils in our deck, so there's 1 more left. I might have pitched them both. It appears our opponent definitely has a popper. They're just debating on where they want to use it, I think. Man. So they're going to 2. And then give me your popper. No. Okay. Sigil or defense reaction here. It doesn't matter. Oh, we drew the defense reaction. Get wrecked. Oh, boy. I love it when a plan comes together. Haha. Gotcha. Man, I don't think it really matters. Like, what we draw there, we're just pitching our red to play Kyloria. Man, you love to see it. You love to see it. They're at 1. Give me a card. Give me a card. Oh, they're just gonna... Oh, yeah. Num, 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 num. I cannot believe we won that game. I took like the greediest line in the world and it panned out for me. Oh. So I know that like I just said that I took the greediest line in the world, but looking at that game, I'm honestly wondering if playing offense was the option. Like, was I at a spot where I just needed to play offense and I couldn't sit around any longer? I think playing offense was the correct play there, so good game. About to try to sneak out of Mason's room. I'll be back for my computer in a few. Okay, cool, man. I'm glad your son's asleep. Defense reaction, GG. That's right, Z. Let him know. Let him know what's up. Dromai, Talishar. We played against old Maxi boy. We went second. Max chose to go first and set up. We got a win. Drew. Defense, react to win the game for overpower block. Kyloria is insane against the mech suit. Okay, well, 3-0 tonight feels pretty good. Feels pretty good where we're at. Let's keep rolling, though. I mean, no reason to stop now. I do not feel like this is a good matchup for us. Truly have no idea how to board either. I've been trying to let our opponents know that we're boarding since I don't have all of my matchups built in. I like to make sure that I'm figuring them out. With widespread destruction in our deck, I'm thinking that this is a Crown and Seeker's Mitts matchup. I don't know, Quell could be pretty useful though. Like, filtering our hand could be pretty good here. I don't know. Maybe this is a Crown matchup. Maybe we just want to get ahead of Crown. Maybe we want Crown and Mitts here. Let's see. They're going first, so they want to set up their big turn. I think Mitts and Crown is fine here. I don't think we want Remembrance. Maybe they're trying to fatigue us. I don't know. I honestly have no idea what they're trying to do in this matchup. Warmongers seems okay. Maybe we leave in one Remembrance just in case. I mean, they don't have that many poppers. I don't think they have that many poppers in their list. So they probably play like 12 to 15, but 12 to 15 is not enough to fatigue us here. So I think we're okay with continuing. Let's cut Necria. I have no idea what to cut here. Lost in Thought's probably going to be pretty good. Don't really want the Dust, I don't think. Maybe we're just supposed to run the 66 card special. Lost in Thought seems good at taking poppers. Maybe Thermai's not where we want to be. Uvia seems okay. They can't activate things on my turn. I mean, I don't know. Let's just cut this. And let's play it like this. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the play is here. What we're trying to be doing in this matchup. This should be interesting. Maybe we just get lucky and continue our like random game of like our night of like randomly winning games. I made it out with my knees popping and waking him up. Oh, you did wake him up on the way out when your knees popped? Oh, dude. I've never thought about that, but man, I bet like trying to like get your kid to go to sleep, like getting your kid to sleep and then trying to get out of the room, I bet is not an easy task, I imagine. So, pitch Miraging Metamorph for Sweeping Blow. Make 2 Ash, and then I can pitch Yendarai to activate Furnace and play Uvia. And then I always have the Mitts if I need to generate another Ash here. Because I'll end up going up to 3 and then down to 1, so... I mean, so they're taking 3, so they have no interest in just like playing hard defense, it seems like. I mean, yeah, let's go ahead and attack with 1. They might pop our Ashwing here. If they don't, I'm just going to take the free damage and like keep my Uvia. I'm going to make them attack it to actually get this off the field here. Oh, you made it out without waking him up? Oh, nice. Nice. See, that's a real win right there. A win's a win, man. A win's a win. We'll go Yindarai, then Metamorph. All right, so Phantom Wraith is just a vanilla 6. So this is 4 rune chance and 6 physical. I mean, I'm pretty inclined to like keep this hand. I mean, I guess I do have Arcane Barrier, but nah, I think I'm pretty... With the Tome, I'm pretty inclined just to take all 10 here. Maybe my opponent's killing the Uvia. No, they're hitting us for 7. Oh, the Shadow Puppetry. No, they are hitting the Uvia. Do they still get the Shadow Puppetry effect? This turn hits. Okay, so they could have banished, but they chose not to there. Okay, so it's important to note that they could have, but they did not. And then Flail says when this hits, so they kill an Ashwing here, I assume. Yep, and they make a rune chant. So Flail being a life for a life is pretty good for them. So let's just start with Tome. So, pitch Sigil, pitch Burn them all. I can draw a card if I want to here. So, the easy play is just to go Rake the Embers into Kyloria. But that would leave me with 0 Ash. I think I'm looking to draw a card here. So we're going to activate Furnace. And then we're going to draw a card. I think this leaves me in a decent spot. So now we add Burn Them All to the board. And they do have AB1 in their headpiece. So they can block and pop every turn if they want to. We're gonna add to the board when we can, and we're gonna take our turns when we can. I am intrigued that this list does not have Blaze Headlong in it. I really like Blaze Headlong. Like, Blaze Headlong is a great card in my opinion, and I think it plays really well on both this and the Phi deck. So I'd like to find a way to get this into the deck if I can. Of course, I honestly don't know enough about Dromai to start messing with the numbers. Ravenous Rabble is probably just a better card, because it's like always there and it's always a starter. I mean, I think it's worth throwing the Kyloria here, because if they want to give me a popper, that's fine. Like, I don't think there's a world where I'm ever just passing. Again, that could be like a lack of my knowledge. I don't know. Like, that could just be like a lack of my knowledge on this matchup. Maybe like I'm always just supposed to leave the harder to kill dragons there until I find like a Kyloria, or not a Kyloria, let's get rid of Sweeping Blow, or until I find a Marigai. I also should probably just stop jamming my tomes, and I should start arsenling them to try to set up the Tumultai. I might make an effort this turn to like try and get rid of my or like play the Tumultai so I can get rid of the Crown of Dichotomy. So that they have 0 Arcane Barrier. I do like that, honestly. Oh, wrong thing. Let's get my water. We had some chips for dinner, and now my mouth is like super dry and salty, and so I'm like trying to make sure I drink enough water so I don't like hate myself later. You gotta pitch that last card to Budro. Gotta give us that last card too, because you already got 2 rune chants. He had 1 from the Flail last turn and 1 from Banishing Deathly Well. Man, it costs 3, so all of the... Oh, they're going to use Tunic. Okay. I mean, I think that's a perfectly reasonable option, just to use Tunic here. And the old shadow puppetry, huh? So if I block CNC and Furnace here, I can pitch Lost in Thought to play Mirror Guy, and then I can Arsenal the Tumultai and wait for a Tome. They're going to go to 30 to kill an Ashwing and add a Rune Chant to the board. This is actually a really interesting exchange for them, for me and them, because they get a Rune Chant every turn, and I guaranteed get an extra life out of them. Which, like, I feel like is kind of like a, you know, not terrible for me. 2 no Phantasm and 1 Arcane. So it feels like a pretty good exchange for me, but like also them setting up Rune Chants is like what they're looking to do. It's like almost the entire purpose of like their deck. They want multiple Rune Chants on the board, so it's not like it's bad for them or anything. Ooh, my shirt's all out of whack. All right, 2 Ashwings coming in. I'm gonna write this down before I forget. Dromai, Talishar, are my opponent's playing, Vincent, and we went second. Our opponent was nice enough to let us know that they were thinking and trying to figure out like what they thought their best line was. Was nice of them. People don't always do that kind of stuff, and people don't have to do that kind of stuff. So it's always nice to me when people do that. Like, I'm always like very appreciative of them doing that. Plays a reduced to Rune Chant. I guess they just wanted the extra Rune Chant there. Like, Command and Conquer, Rake, yeah. So pitch Dust Up for Caloria, attack for 4 with no Phantasm, into activate Furnace to come in with 6 Dominate on hit, gaining Intellect is pretty good. I think I'm pretty willing to take whatever they do this turn to be able to do that. That's a pretty good turn for us. Envelop in Darkness. So, I don't know if anybody watched Battle Hardened Pittsburgh, but one of the commentators was Naib Mosahir, and Mosahir, I hope I'm saying his last name right. He lives about 2 hours from me. He's a super nice... Oh, God. That's terrifying. That's, like, actually terrifying. And if this hits... So I can actually kill that and gain the intellect, which is pretty cool. He lives about 2 hours from me. He's a very good player, and yeah, I think I have to take this. But he commentated Pittsburgh this past weekend, and he kept calling it Envelope in Darkness, and like it was making me cringe so hard. Like, Naib's a great guy, but he was calling it Envelope, and I was like, bro. It's like, bro, that's Envelope. That's Envelope. So let's throw Caloria at our opponent here. 4 no Phantasm is really nice. And they're forced to like give us a card here. This isn't considered an item, I'm pretty sure. No, it's a Demi Hero or whatever they're called, or I don't know, Demogorgon. I think that's a Stranger Things thing. I don't know. I know it's a thing in Fortnite. I know I sound like one of those Zoomers. That's the thing from Fortnite. Like, it's like when kids like talk about like Master Chief and they're like, oh, that's the guy from Fortnite. I'm like, no, Master Chief is not the guy from Fortnite. Master Chief is an amazing human being. Like, I mean, I guess he is human technically, but you get my point. And then, so I can hit this, is my understanding, and still gain the intellect, because even though I'm hitting this, it's considered hitting. And we've set up quite a board. So, worst comes to worst, like, if worst comes to worst, we can really just, like, start playing defense if we need to. Yeah, we did get the on-hit effect. Let's go! Having 5 cards is such a powerful feeling. I feel like having 5 cards in hand is just like Kylo Ren, but he's like, more! Like in one of the new Star Wars movies. Also, Adam Driver, or whatever his name is an amazing actor. He's like, he's great. And like everything I've ever seen him in, I really like Adam Driver. Is this not at me? I was like, that must not be at me. I mean, so we have a pretty sweet play here. We can actually just play the Tumble Tie. Like, which is kind of cool. So if I pitch Sandcover to play Lost in Thought. No, because I have to use one of my resources, don't I? Because then I go back up to 2 and then I can pitch 4. So I guess we have to decide what we want to do here. I guess we like really have to decide what we want to do here. We can just play the Tumble Tie. There's also 2 more tomes in our deck that we haven't seen that we could like wait and try to find. Pitch Sandcover to play Lost in Thought. If it's clear, we come in with everything, throw Dust Up, Snap, throw Miraging Metamorph. I mean, it's a pretty good turn. Like, I think this is a pretty solid turn here. You know what? Let's actually play the Dust Up first and see what they do. I mean, our opponent might just be like, hey, like, we should block this. Obviously, they are going to block it, which is kind of nice. Because they don't have to block this. Like, this is not a card that, like, has to be blocked in a lot of scenarios. But I will take that. So we took their only attack action. So now we're actually just free to come in with everything, which is awesome. Yeah, this is really good. We can just come in with everything now. And I'm curious to know, what do they have? The chains. They have a Jack-o'-lantern and a chains, a Mephistopheles, whatever. I don't know how you pronounce that. Somebody knows how to pronounce that? I would be forever in your debt for putting that in the chat. And this is where my opponent goes, get wrecked, Pauper from the lap. God, we used to make jokes about that all the time when I played Magic back in the day. When I played Magic back in the day, like I played Burn a lot, and I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with like Magic and like that style of like of what Burn is exactly, but man, like I used to like when like whenever like they would get like whenever my opponent would get low, like we just laugh and be like, oh, like bolt from the lap here, like, you know, just stuff like that, like just funny things like that, like, you know, things that I always thought was funny anyway. Does the Chain of Mephitis even block? Jack-o'-lantern blocks for 2 and this blocks for 3. So we can just make our opponent give us the Tunic or the Creepers here by throwing Command and Conquer. Heck yeah, bro. Let's go. This is a really solid turn. This is like our swing turn right here. Killing their 6 power like Demogorgon hero thing, whatever, was a really big swing. I should probably actually read what that is. I know how it flips. Create Nasrith, the Soul Harrower. The Soul Harrower. I don't even know what that word means, bro. Like, what? What? I think I'm going to go Sand Cover. I need to get rid of 4 cards. We'll leave the Mirror guy. I'm going to go Sand Cover, Miraging Metamorph, then Sink Below. This is a pretty solid turn. I mean, this is a pretty good turn. My opponent banishes nothing, goes to 19 to kill an Ashwing, and so they net a Rune Chant, but they ponder a card that virtually does nothing, which is pretty cool. So let's go ahead and play Yindarai. Play Asvalai. We're trying to set up the board here. And then let's come in with Ravenous Rabble. Rabble Babble. Oh no! My god. How am I playing an almost completely full of red cards deck and I still managed to find a blue? I swear this card hates me. This, like, Ravenous Rabble hates me. If there was ever a sign to just take Ravenous Rabble out and put Blaze Headlong in, that was it right there. Oh my god. I mean, like, we're still in a good spot. So, like, obviously, I'm just having complaint equity for, like, not a real big reason here. I'm mostly just complaining to complain. Like, we're in a good spot, but it's kind of funny that I found the one of Passing Mirage. Right? Or no, I think I left them all in. So there were 3 hits. There were 3 hits. I think I'm trying to make myself feel better and it's not working right now. All right, we get a popper on the Yindarai. I knew they were hanging on to one. We just had to figure out what for. So this looks really good. Yeah, this actually looks like to be a pretty solid turn here all the way around. I mean, we can take a little bit of damage here and then we can actually play the Mirror guy, pitching Dromai, and then I can pitch Yindarai, activating Furnace to go up to 2 resources, and then I can actually have 5 to play the Tumultai, and I can come in with 5 no Phantasm. So I imagine our opponent kills our Asvalai here. So this is actually like a really sweet play. Like, this is a really cool play. Being able to attack with Tumultai here is insanely good. So we'll kill the Crown of Dichotomy, I guess. I don't know. I guess the Arcane Barrier is the correct way to do it. I don't know. If somebody has more experience in this matchup and they want to help me out, I'd love to hear about why I should have played that differently. Definitely open to another opinion right there. Bang, 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 bang. Five no Phantasm is awesome. Like, that's just great. And this is a card that has to be dealt with, because if they don't deal with this card, we're just going to start eating all of their equipment here. If I'd have gotten 2, I honestly would have considered getting the Grasp there, because getting the Grasp is actually just like really good value for me, because then they can no longer make Rune Chants, which sometimes they need to be able to do to continue to have turns against me. The cool thing is that, like, if they pop this, if they pop the Ashwing here, they do not have a... Well, I guess if they banish the 2 for 6, if they banish the 2 for 6 from their hand, so if they have a popper, banish the yellow's a 2 for 5, red's a 2 for 6, Phantom Wraith or Phantom Banshee, whatever it's called, I can't remember. I'm gonna throw the Caloria here. Then like it just... Like, that has to be their hand. To stop us from hitting with the Caloria and kill the Tumultai here, they have to have Popper and the red 2 for 6. Which, or I guess yellow 2 for 5 is also fine. But it has to be Popper and something they can banish and hit us with 2 Rune Chants with. Which is pretty relevant here. Because now our opponent's between a rock and a hard place here. Like, do they block? Like, because if they block with both cards, I attack with the Mirror Guy and put our opponent to 11 because I know it's free. The funny part is, like, Tumultai is not even really that insane. It just represents so much value for me. Wow. Wow. What a draw step. Never, didn't, have it. That's all I'm gonna say. What a draw step. Okay, so that's a 3 for 5. What does this card even do? I don't even know what this card does. So they don't get a Rune Chant, and now they can't attack me? So, thanks for playing? Like, this game's just over? Like, this game is actually just over? I mean, yeah, I'm gonna take the Rune Chants here, dude. Like, I don't care. And I assume he's gonna hit an Ashwing here. So, Tumultai still my best play. So, play Rabble Babble. Come in for 4. Thankfully, it wasn't 2. We found the other 2 passing mirages, so we weren't going to have that happen. That was really funny that happened a minute ago. I'm glad that happened live on stream, because like if I told somebody in like on my team and my testing group that happened to me, like off camera, nobody would have believed me. Nobody. So there's a Snatch on top. I mean, now that I've played a red card, like, and you give me the Tunic, we're just going to go for the Grasp. And I know there's 0 blue cards left in our deck because we drawn 3 of them in 2 turns, which is kind of, like, weird. But it's worked out for the best for us, so we'll just go ahead and kill their Grasp here. Snatch and Billowing Mirage are our 2 cards, so... Can I have 0 equipment left after this, which means the Tumultai does nothing, but this having no Phantasm is pretty cool. I'm going to play the Dromai after this and attack. So this turn is like it's just insane, like all the way around. There's no way our opponent's about to go to 1. So they play Hold the Line, which is a 0 for 2. Okay. I mean, like... Like, they probably pop this if I had to guess. That's the thing about, like, Vincent actually attacking me, is that, like, they have to have enough poppers and cards to banish what they want to be able to do. So they pop this, which is perfectly fine. I'm just going to play the Snatch because it gets an extra card out of my opponent's hand. Like, they literally just have to give me a card here. If they do have a reduced Enchant here at red, they could, like, block this out completely and keep a card to banish. So, just depends on what's left in their hand. Like... We're gonna pitch one of the Passing Mirages to Flamescale Furnace, and then we're just gonna Arsenal one of the Passing Mirages here. Our opponent honestly may not have even had another popper. Like, it's not that crazy to think about. Uh-oh, the Woodshed's playing Call of Duty. What if he's streaming Call of Duty tonight? I'll have to find out if he's streaming later. Kyle's a very good Call of Duty player for anybody who doesn't know. So he did have a popper. Okay, he did have the popper. I was like, for anybody, I don't know if you guys are like FPS fans or anything at all, but like I played like Halo and Call of Duty and stuff like that growing up, and like me and Kyle have like always played games together. I was like, we played video games together so much growing up, and like we played a lot of Call of Duty growing up, and like I have just gotten progressively worse at Call of Duty over the years. Like I was actually like really good when we were like in high school. But like as I've gotten older, I'm just not that good anymore. Just if I'm being honest, like I have no shame at this point, but we've been trying to play the new one, and like I'm just truly realizing how not good I am at the game. Like honestly. Yeah, let's pitch 2 cards. Ah, I don't know what just happened there. Oh, I clicked too many times is what happened. So pitch those, and then so I now have 2 mirror guys, and we're gonna come in for 3. This demands a card from our opponent. Played a lot of COD growing up, but I go the Milsom way, so I'm more into Arma, Ready or Not, 0 Hour. So are those like other FPS games? Like are those like other first-person shooters that you play? And I ask because like I genuinely I don't know. Like honestly, like outside of like Fortnite and like cards, like that's really about like all I do for the most part. Good game, opponent. Haha. 6.9. Nice. Yeah, but I don't play a lot of like games outside of like Fortnite, and I don't play a lot of games outside of like Fortnite and cards, to be honest. Like there's just not a ton of free time. Like cards is like my primary hobby as far as things are concerned, so all right. So it makes us 4-0 on the night. I mean, pretty good. Like better than I thought we'd be doing tonight. 4-0 with Dromai is a pretty good record so far. We'll see who joins next. Who wants some of the Dragons next? Yeah, Arma 3 is a first-person shooter / third person with maps up to like 300 square kilometers. Oh wow. That's a huge game, dude. Is it a battle royale style game, or is it just like a shooter like kind of thing? Like is it just more like a I guess like what people would call like deathmatch? Is it more of like a deathmatch or like a battle royale? Because I was like, when you say like 300 like square kilometers, like I mean that's, I don't know the metric system, but that sounds like a lot. right, good luck and have fun, opponent. Boarding 1 sec. All right, so against Dashio, I'm like, do I want the extra block that comes from this? Probably just want to be on Mitts and Crown of Providence. First time playing this deck, so it's going to be a ride. LOL. I appreciate my opponent's honesty. I don't know if passing Mirage is where I want to be in this matchup. Like, we're going to cut their Remembrance here for sure. I think we'll cut the Tomes because they don't block. Warmonger's Diplomacy seems like it could have some value for us, so we'll leave it. Invoke Tumultai. I mean, we're definitely going to cut the Necria. I just think that Dominion and Tumultai are just too good. So I honestly, like, I just think they're too good as far as everything's, like, concerned. Like, they just have so much value in them. Thermi? Wait a second. Can't play cards or activate abilities. Not that that'll be super relevant. Nah, it's probably not worth it, honestly. Maybe don't want to play Lost in Thought here either. Actually, I think we're just going to be on playing like this. I think we'll try it like this. I have no idea if this is correct or not, but we're just going to try it. Dromai, Talishar, -IO, and we're going second. I know that a lot of these decks want to set up, but like I honestly wonder if they want to set up because it's what they want to do, or if they want to prevent me from setting up. Because I think that Dromai wants to go second more often than not, just because of you want to play aggro. So I don't know. It's scenario based. Usually capture entire islands, building bases, transporting resources, clearing towns, hunting down enemy artillery, flying helicopters, jets, driving tanks, transport trucks. Not activate abilities. Means no looking at her deck or playing items as instance off the top. Yeah, are you talking about like Thermi? So I mean like Thermi says that she can't do it during my turn, which I think is like I don't really know how many items she's looking to play during my turn. I don't know. Like if we play this game and my opponent plays an item more than once during my own turn, then we'll know that Thermi is worth. But I think like just knowing what I know about this like what I know about the deck, like I think that doing this is completely fine. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong here. Like this could be wrong. I mean, like scenario-based games are fun though. Just to kind of like go back to what you're talking about. I think scenario-based games are fun personally. And then I'm just gonna activate the Mitts with the Rake the Embers here. We're gonna bottom that. We have no interest in that right now, I don't think. I mean, throwing Command and Conquer and Arsenal into Sand Cover seems like an okay plan. I could also just start with a Snatch. It's a pretty early use of my snaps, though. I think this is a perfectly fine play. We're like giving ourselves, we're giving ourselves some Ash here. We're getting some Ash generation, and we're setting up a defense reaction. So, like, I think this is a perfectly fine play to make personally. The missions can take weeks, 2 weeks, can take weeks at a time to clear. Oh my gosh, that's crazy, dude. I built my dash to specifically counter my wife's Benji, so I play a lot of mini force fields and dissolving shields from the top on her turn. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. So Bobby was doing that the other night, and like I have played a lot of mini force fields off the top of the deck, like in draft a lot, like drafting this set, but I've never really done it in CC. I've also not like played a lot of Dashio, so I don't know. I don't know like how. I just let this go. I don't know. Like, I don't think that's what my opponent's going to be doing against me. But I definitely see the value in playing with defensive items off the top of the deck, like during your opponent's turn. I mean, there's even some offensive items, in my opinion, you can get away with playing. Like, right here. All right, I'm actually going to keep tabs of this. My opponent's about to play a Teclacore off the top of the deck during my turn. Yep. All right, there's item number 1. I've got my notepad down. I got my sticky notes out, and I am writing this down for every time my opponent does this. Yeah, dude. Like, of course I say, I don't think this is going to happen, and then it happens immediately. Just goes to show you that you never know what's going on in the minds of another player, and that just something that you think is good might not be that good. So definitely something to keep in mind. Pants? Dude, you have a weird obsession with me, like, not wearing pants and streaming. Like, I'm wearing pants, dude, okay? Like, boom. Pants. I am never sitting here without clothes on, playing, like, streaming. That's, like, I don't, like... How often do you play games without wearing pants, Kyle? Like, now you just got me thinking, like, how often are you not wearing clothes when we play Call of Duty together? We have 3 Ash. I think I'm going to start with Sink Below, and I'm going to bottom the Billowing Mirage here. You did not say you're in Discord with Carly, so you believe her. So you believe me this time around. I mean, hey man, whatever it takes, I guess. I almost specifically play game pantless. I mean, listen, whatever makes you guys happy. I'm not here to judge anybody, but I am here to tell you guys that like I like exclusively wear clothes when I'm playing video games, like streaming or not. Honestly, when I'm streaming, I like to wear my Hawaiian shirts because I don't get to wear my Hawaiian shirts a lot during the winter. So I really like to wear them during the winter when I'm streaming. But like, if I'm playing video games and I'm not streaming, most of the time I just have my hoodie on. I have a Buc-ee's hoodie upstairs somewhere that I really like. I'm a big fan of Buc-ee's, the gas station. They have recently put in Buc-ee's near us, and it brings me great joy to go to Buc-ee's. Carly and I go to Buc-ee's. I mean, we probably go to Buc-ee's more than we should, I would say, and we spend a lot of money. Carly likes the beaver nuggets. She likes to call them Buc-ee nuggies. And then we like go to Buc-ee's and we buy like 3 bags of these beaver nuggets, and then we eat like the entire bag in one day. It's a real problem. Like, sometimes we eat the bag before we get home. Like, and I know that doesn't sound that bad to you guys, but I mean, like, it's like a Ruff's, like, chips, like, potato Lay's chip bag size of things to eat. So, like, it's not like it's just some, like, small nothing that we're eating here, okay? Like, it's something, you know, like, we're eating a pretty good, hefty amount of calories in one sitting in the car. There he is once again playing with Dromai. Dude, absolutely, man. Last night's stream, like, dude, fell apart at the seams. Like, tried to play it last night, and it just all fell apart at the seams last night. So, trying to get more games in tonight. We're actually 4-0 tonight, which I'm kind of surprised about. Like, I know I'm not supposed to, like, act surprised that I'm doing well on stream, because I'm supposed to, like, you know, be like, oh, I'm a good player. But sometimes I'm just surprised that I'm doing well. Like, I get a little lucky sometimes, and I'm just happy to be doing well. So it's just kind of where I'm at. Buc-ee Nuggies. See, Carly will come running when she hears Buc-ee Nuggies talked about. Their brisket is on my list. Oh, no jerky or brisket tacos. So we were originally we got beef jerky the last time we went. Carly's not a big beef jerky fan. Honestly, Carly's not a big beef jerky fan, but we got beef jerky the last time we went. And Carly hated the smell of it, but I loved it. Their beef jerky's fantastic. I love it. I've not had a brisket taco yet. I will say that. I have not had a brisket taco, but we stopped there on a way to a we stopped there on the way to a ProQuest. We stopped on the way to a ProQuest, and I actually had breakfast there. It was pretty good. I was pretty impressed. It was pretty good. I guess let's just give the emptiness here. I'd really like to add Dromai number 2 and Caloria to the board this turn. If I need to play the sand cover, I will. But if not, I'm going to hang on to the sand cover. So I've never had the brisket, but Carly, I mean, everybody we talk to says it's pretty good, so I'd hop in and play you, but I've never faced a Dromai before, so it would be rough. I mean, hey, man, like, if you want to play, like, yeah, that'd be great. Like, love to play a game against you. I was like, but if not, I completely understand. Dromai can be a very demoralizing deck to play against. I 100% understand that. Oh my god, what are we doing, bro? What is this, for 9? Oh, this is only for 7? Brother. Walton Tar Nation? This guy doesn't know who he's messing with. He's gonna, like, I don't know, like, buff it, like... We're just gonna play... I don't know how many Ash I have. 2? Okay, so we're good. We're good. So, block that. That felt pretty good. Get to keep the... You can keep your boom grenade, pal. I don't want it. Let him know, Nightbot. Let him know, Nightbot. Probably killing the Dromai here if I had to guess. Yeah, seems like a good play. So let's play the Caloria. I mean, again, like, decent chance they have a popper here, but I'm just gonna run the Caloria out. Because if they don't have a popper, then they're gonna give me a card and heart, or they might just give me crown and heart here if they feel like it's necessary. We've created quite a bit of life total value. And they have boosted away, or I'm sorry, they hearted away a boom grenade, and they have played a boom grenade for no value. So feels pretty good. Also, we've seen 3 poppers. I don't know how many the IO list is on. I honestly, I don't know. Like, the IO list could be on more than I'm aware of. I truly do not know. Okay, our opponent does not have a popper, so they go to 21. Okay. 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 This is a no blocks. This is a no blocks in my opinion. I think this is a no blocks here. We take it if they have it. And then my opponent does boost. So I'm just going to play Fate Foreseen and see what they hit. And see what we hit on top. Like, I don't know what they have in their arsenal, but... I mean, we need an Ash Generator. We can Furnace and make some things happen. I don't think we need to... Hit the Caloria. Yep. That math do be mathing. So Snatch. They'll give card and heart. I wonder if anybody's tried running Razor in this deck with, like, all attacks. With, like, more attacks. Like, you play the Metamorph. Man, could you imagine Razoring the Metamorph? That's got to be, like, a feels bad. Are they really just giving me a card here? Intertesting. So, we'll swing the Enderai. They probably have a popper here. Carly's not happy about something. I mean, this is a lot of damage. We're putting our opponent really low, really fast. Let's get rid of the Metamorph here. I pitched my other sigil, so this is the only one I can have. Makes sense why my opponent wanted to keep their hand, but they've given me a 27-point lead. So they're going to kind of have to go, like, freaking crazy handbalkers right now if they want to, like, get us. Like, they're going to have to, like, push a lot of damage here. Guys, while we're waiting on our opponent to decide, thanks for hanging out tonight. Whether you're on Twitch, Kick, YouTube, wherever you're hanging out at, thanks for being here and thanks for being a part of the stream. I appreciate it. I still think I'm in the blocking business here. Like, I don't think there's any reason for me not to be blocking at this point. And we made a good decision to block. I mean, if worst really comes to worst here... Oh, wow, that's so good. That's so good. We can block 5 from our hand and then just attack with the Enderai and play the sigil. Honestly, we probably wouldn't even play the sigil because we don't have go again. Like, there's no reason to have go again. So we'd probably just arsenal the sigil and wait on it. We get a boom grenade and a 0 to 60. I mean, with multiple action points, they could also just attempt to kill the Enderai. Oh, I submitted 0. I see my problem now. I actually have to show them the sigil here. I mean, let's just block 4. Like, again, let's just try and stop this boom grenade from hitting if we can here. Might as well say hi over here as well. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. That means a lot. I appreciate you supporting me both on Twitch and on YouTube, man. It means a lot. I'm excited to see your all's YouTube content that you all come out with. Get a counter off the Enderai and then hit me for 2, I assume. I mean, if their last card's like a 0 to 60, like they could have hit us there, but didn't seem like it. So let's just attack for 3 and 1 arcane. They know our card's a sigil, but we're still going to arsenal it here. There's absolutely 0 reason to like give it up for anything. I did have to give up equipment block that turn. Ah! Good lord, after I throw my pen in the floor. I did have to give up equipment block there, but I saved 3 extra life by blocking all of my equipment, which, I mean, I think is pretty relevant. Our opponent's going to stay at 9 and try to 5-card hand us. We'll get rid of Rabble and Snatch. Arsenal Sigil. I mean... Again, it seems like the floor of our hand is block 3, 6, 8, and then attack with Rabble. Like, I could, if they go to Arsenal and they leave us in a spot where we can keep multiple cards, we could go for the CNC here, and like really try to like, you know, get them here and like blow them out. Okay, one of their cards being the backup protocol red's pretty good for us. It's also worth noting that they have an extra action point at hand pretty much at all times, but I don't know what their hand would have to be for them to give it up to us, because that's worth like AB a little bit. What are you gonna get? Harpoon? Are you gonna get Max V? Are we doing it? I don't think. I mean, I guess technically if they had Twin Drive Blue 0 and they got back to Max V here, they could do it. They could also just have Blue 0 and Max V in their hand now. They could have Blue 1 and Max V in their hand, or they could have Blue 2 and Max V in their hand, I guess, at this point. Let's just take 5 here. Hope there's no Boom Grenade off the top of the deck. They've played 2 Boom Grenades off the top of the deck and had the opportunity to play 1 more, but did not. They hearted 1 away, and then one of them that they hearted away, they actually could not play because they had already used Dashio's ability here, so... This is a card that gets blocked. I don't want them to have an item. I could get a few things here that could be pretty good. So if I block Rabble and burn them all, I can... Hey! The President Hal donated $5. Let's go. Can't wait to see you get that subscribe button. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate that. I don't know if you were here for that earlier, man, but I actually got that notification earlier from Twitch that my sub button I was able to reapply now. So I'm pretty excited about that. I am pretty excited about that. Thanks for the dono, man. I appreciate it. It means a lot, buddy. Hope you and your wife are doing well, man. I was like, I saw you talking. I saw you talking during the World Series, man. I hated to see your D-backs lose, honestly. My cousin's a big D-backs fan, so I hated to see them lose for 2 reasons, but it's pretty cool they made it to the World Series, though. So, block Burn Them All Passing Mirage, and then from there... So if I block Burn Them All Passing Mirage, I can go... Ravenous Rabble, Yindarai, play Sigil, Arsenal, Command and Conquer. Or if I block Command and Conquer or Passing Mirage, I can just go burn into Rabble. And then I'm required to get rid of 4 cards, 3 and 1, and then... So 4 cards, and then it's 4 and 2, which is 6. So I think it's better... to keep the Command and Conquer and Arsenal here. I think I like this line better. The Command and Conquer has a lot of value in our arsenal if our opponent sets up and actually sets up an arsenal. And thanks, Pitch. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm pretty excited to get the sub button back. I'm pretty excited about that. I feel like that's pretty cool. I waited a little while because like I've met all of the criteria or whatever, but I kept waiting for like them to email me because that's what it says they do. It says they email me, and I kept never hearing from them. So I actually reached out to Twitch support yesterday to see if to see what I needed to do to get my sub button back. And so I had to send them a bunch of information, but they told me we would make it happen, so I'm excited. I mean, like, this hand is really good and has a lot of powerful cards in it, but like the floor of this hand is block 9 and play Invoke Chromai. The other option we have, no, that's probably just the best play here. If I can keep 3 cards, that's a little different because I can pitch Dominia to play Yindarai and then play Chromai, and then I can have multiple dragons on board. I don't know. Like, the Chromai play is just so strong for us here. It just, like, the Chromai play gives us the option to... The Chromai play gives us the option of having multiple dragon attacks, even if they have a popper. And I think at this point in the game, that's, like, such a big win for us. To activate Convection Amplifier. Okay, well, they're going to get an item this time. There's nothing I can do about it this time around. I guess we should block 3. I mean, I can just pitch the Dominia here to, like, activate Furnace and get some Ash. Like, keep an Ash neutral turn here. I could also just use this to block, so I guess we'll just kind of play this by ear and see what happens. Glad you got the sub button coming soon. I appreciate your content. Thanks, man. That means a lot. I appreciate that. Looking forward to streaming a bit myself. Dude, do you stream? You've never talked about that before, man. I didn't know you stream, brother. Excited to watch Worlds this weekend? Oh, dude, I am so stoked for Worlds this weekend. Oh, no. Another tome. That's good for them. That's the second tome they played from Arsenal. It's really good. I think that's why everybody's been on 3 of that card in this deck. It's just so powerful. Yeah, dude, I'm super pumped to watch Worlds this weekend. I was gonna go to a skirmish this weekend, and I'm still thinking about it if I'm being honest. But I'm also thinking about just like staying at home all weekend and watching Worlds and like hanging out with Carly, like me and her playing games and like, you know, like having Worlds up on the like the other monitor and stuff like that. Like is like a very exciting thought to me. Okay, so they cranked the penetration script, so they're going to get no value from it other than the action point to be able to play this and crank. I think they've only boosted twice, so I'm not sure. I've never streamed Fab, but have streamed games card openings. Dude, that's awesome. Well, dude, I'm excited for you to stream Fab. Are you gonna stream Fab? Like, are you getting into like streaming Fab, dude? I hope the answer to that is yes. I'm always looking for more Flesh and Blood content, brother. Always. My wife is coming with me to our local shop to play this weekend. Should be a good time. Oh, dude, Pitch, that's awesome, man. That's awesome, brother. So I actually got Carly to play Magic with me a while back in the day. And if you guys play Magic, I don't know if you guys ever played Magic before, but I say that every time I talk about Magic because I don't know who's on my channel that's played Magic before and who hasn't. But Carly loved to play Boggles. And so she used to play Boggles and I played Burn, and I honestly think she liked to play Boggles just because it beat the living crap out of Burn. But she really liked that, like, she had her dude and she could like protect him. And so like I think that like Flesh and Blood is like a lot of like very quick mental math, and Carly's very good at mental math, but I don't think she likes to do it on the spot. So I think it's a little different. Smurf coming in with the raid. What's going on, brother? How was your stream, man? I saw that you were reviewing Pittsburgh from this past weekend. I was like, I got to watch a little bit of it, but I didn't actually get to I got to watch quite a bit. I got to watch quite a bit of it, but I didn't get to see any of your review. I was actually kind of looking forward to going back and watching some of the VOD tomorrow while I'm stuck in meetings that I don't want to pay attention to. Oh, that's so funny. I think so, dude. Hal, I hope you start streaming it, man. Like, I really hope you start streaming Flesh and Blood, man. I love content and being able to watch other people play. So, if you do, are you going to stream on Twitch? Because if you do, I will definitely be following you after this so I can make sure I don't miss anything. We're just going to take 2 here. No more action points so they can't kill our Yenderai. Was good. That's awesome. Hey, he brought me. What's up, Rhinoceros? How are you, man? I appreciate you coming by and hanging out, man. I was like, dude, even if it's part of the raid, I love it nonetheless. Thanks for being here, man. Watching the Icelander games tilted me so hard. I can imagine that. I mean, being that you've played a lot of Icelander, I was like, I imagine watching people make plays that you don't agree with is probably a tough thing to happen. Like, I get that. I felt that watching like events and like just other card games, and I've even felt that like watching Flesh and Blood and stuff too. So I completely understand that. That can be a frustrating feeling to watch people do things that you don't like or don't agree with. So we're also at a point where we might just fatigue our opponent, which is like an interesting concept because it's not really something I'd considered, because I think a lot of like Dash.io players are very like tough to fatigue, like given they've played a lot of games on the deck. But our opponent did make the comment that this is their first game playing Dash, and I think that they've made a couple of interesting choices that I don't necessarily agree with, but it's hard to say, knowing the context of their hand and like what they're doing throughout the entire game, to know exactly what their hand lineup has been. Wow. Okay. All right, man. You were definitely right, Pitch. That is the second time they've played an item off the top of our deck. So that's 2 times that, like, I said at the beginning of the game that, and they activated an item on our turn. So that's 3. That's 3 times that Thermai would have stopped what they wanted to do. And I think that's relevant. Like, I don't think that is a non-zero number. Now, is having Thermai in the deck correct? I don't know. I don't know enough about Dromai, to be honest. Not a huge Dromai person. And I brought the Rhinar player with me. LOL. Don't agree with is putting it mildly, diplomatically. I mean, yeah, like listen, there are a lot of different things you can do in Flesh and Blood. So I'm not always going to say that the decisions I make are correct, because they're definitely not always correct. But sometimes people make decisions and I'm like, man, I don't understand that, but I'm really trying to look at it from your point of view. Why did you make that play? Kind of thing. So this hand's just insane. Block with Furnace and Fate Foreseen just to not give up the other Boom Grenade. Actually, let's look and see how many Boom Grenades they've played. We have 2 yellows. We have a red. There's a red and Banish, I'm pretty sure. So there's 2 yellows and a red here. And then there's 2 red ones here, so there's potentially a yellow one left in their deck. Potentially, they could be on the 2 list, so I am going to get Furnace. We're at the end of the game where, like, I don't think that's relevant enough to... Or, well, I guess I need the Furnace here, actually, to play the Command and Conquer. Oops. That was a mistake. See? I'm already doing silly stuff. Let's put Snatch on the bottom. I'm already doing silly stuff here. So now I lost my Furnace when, honestly, kind of needed it. Just makes my hand block better, so that's cool. Yeah, let's just block this. Like, I don't... Maybe this is a bait here, but I'm just going to block this anyway, just in case. Oh, yeah, I always try to ask what they're thinking on a choice, but sometimes there's just stuff I can't ignore. I get that. I completely get that. Sometimes you just can't look the other way when people are making decisions that are just wrong. I completely get it. And Nathaniel, get out of here. Like, Thermai definitely does not seem like my first choice in this matchup, but I mean, a lot of people play Thermai in the decks, like, just because there are cards they don't want, and it's possible that Thermai could just be better than, like, Lost in Thought in this matchup, or, like, I don't know, like, another X card. Oh, we're killing all my dragons here. So, Kyloria and Command and Conquer here are the same thing, except Command and Conquer says if they have 3 items in their hand, they're dead. Kyloria says if they have 3 items in their hand, they go to 1 and give me an extra card. And we know it's not a Snatch because we put it on the bottom. So I think we're just going to play the Kyloria because this is the better option. We add stuff to the board. I think this is a better scenario for us, so that more likely don't have poppers here. If I play you, should I run any AB? What are you playing, Pitch? Like, what hero are you playing into me? But I mean, yeah, like if you're playing against Dromai, you should probably have like AB1, I would say. Like, I would almost say that's like AB1 is always correct to have in some fashion. Bolton? Yes, yeah, I would definitely be on AB1. Ooh, they had a popper, and there was the last yellow boom grenade. So there is the last one. We're also at 19, and they have 4 cards in their deck, so we're probably just blocking from here. Like, Thermai is my salt in the wounds. Dude, don't start that nonsense with me. Silas was saying it wrong to me the other night, dude, on Friday night. Like at this point, I honestly think, like, everybody on the team, Nathaniel, just, like, it's just a running meme. At this point, like, that's honestly what it feels like. That it's just, like, a giant meme of, like, everybody's laughing at me, getting so upset that people call it salt the wounds, which is just incorrect in every way. Drives me up a wall for no reason. Shouldn't bother me as much as it does, but it does, so here we are. Yeah, we'll just do it like this. And then, I mean, again, our hand blocks well, if nothing else. Like, the floor of our hand is block 9, throw Rabble. We could alternatively throw Rabble, and if we keep the Warmonger's Diplomacy, go Rabble into Command and Conquer, block 6, which I think is probably more than enough at this point in the game, so I'm ready to embarrass myself. I'll try to grab the next game. Yeah, that's good, man. I'll make a lobby with your name on it after this game, and we can get a game in, man. That sounds good to me. I'm looking forward to it. I don't play against a lot of Bolton, so I think that, like, Dromai kind of has, like, some natural, like, Bolton play, like anti-Bolton play because of, like, all the dragons are non-attack actions. So I can block a lot of your stuff kind of freely, I want to say, but again, I don't have a lot of experience in the matchup. I don't know. I know that Bolt of Courage is probably a great card for you and to me. Thamai? Is it Thamai? Is that actually how you pronounce it? I'm like Nathaniel, I'm not even trolling you. Is that actually how you pronounce it, dude? Hang on. I gotta look on for Brary. This is like... Oh my god, it is. It's Thamai. It's not Thermai. Okay. Yeah. So, This is awkward. I like normally really pride myself on pronouncing cards correctly. Yikes. Yeah. I had no idea there was no R, dude. Should have read the card. Should have read the card. I mean, I'm gonna take 2 here in case they have a better option. The Boom Grenade's the bottom card on their deck. I mean, yeah, I have to show you all my cards here. If my opponent knows what they're doing, they'll definitely just take the Diplomacy here. Like, it's definitely just not the right decision, opponent. They definitely should have just taken the Diplomacy there. Now I get to just Command and Conquer them and end the game. Reading that card pronounces the card. I mean, like I did say earlier in the stream that like reading the cards half the time would just solve your problem, which is hilariously like how it all comes full circle. Salt in the Wounds is valid now? No, dude, no. In fact, Nathaniel, if this ever makes its way to Silas, I'll never talk to you again. Oh, not really. I'm bluffing, but still, I would not be happy about it. This cannot make its way to Silas. That's what's important here. Oh, reading the card explains the card? Yeah, I just got to remember to read it next time. I'm just being a boob. Good lord. Salts in the Wound? Oh, so now we're just making it progressively worse. It started out as Salt in the Wounds. Now it's Salts in the Wound. So here we go. Win against Dashio. Was really far ahead. Cards to opponents. First Dashio game. Okay. 5-0 on the night. Let's see if we can wrap that up in a positive way. Get ready to make that 6-0? Dude, get out of here. You got to have the confidence, man. You got to be ready to talk trash to me. Because, like, I promise you, when I become friends with people, I am not afraid to talk trash to them at all. Even when I'm losing. All right, so let's go. All right, so I'm going to name it Pitch. I don't know how, like, if you're behind or anything like that. So I named it Pitch, and I've got you. I was like, and I got my deck loaded up. Did they listen? No, they did not. Okay, we're gonna try this again. Pitch. I mean, maybe I should name it something else. People are probably reading that and thinking, oh, like, not me, haha, instantly. Dude, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. All right, good luck, man. I'm going to say it in the chat just in case you, like, had me muted or something, because I know some people, like, leave the chat when they, like, actually get into the game. So, I mean, you don't have to. Like, you're more than welcome to look at my entire hand, dude, if you want to. Like, that, it does not bother me. I'm just, like, happy to play games. And like get more reps in. So okay, so I'm going first. Is Crown of Providence just relevant for blocking their on hit effects? Like, do I want to, since I'm going first, maybe I want to go Crown of Dominion and Iron Rock Gauntlet here since I'm going first. We'll cut their Remembrance. I don't think that's necessary. What equipment does Bolton play? I think we want... Don't think we want Necria. I think we want Tumultai. Domini is well, if we can take Lumina, that's like actually insane. Appreciate Pitch letting me know he's not sniping me, but I mean, I really wasn't super worried about it. Like, Uvia seems good at like snowballing. We want to cut the Dust. Maybe we're just cutting Passing Mirages and Warmongers, and we're just on the 60 card. We're on 60 cards here, and we'll keep all of our defense reactions in. I like this. I think I like trying this way. I think Uvia gives us the capability to let this get out of hand. Man, that's a lot of equipment block we got to get through at some point. So let's play Caloria.
Let's
Pitching
go.
Mirror Guy.
You love to see it.
Yo, Hannah Galactic. I like that name. Thanks for the follow on Twitch. Appreciate you being a part of the stream. What's your name? Where you from? Tell me about yourself. And then we'll arsenal the Command and Conquer here. We'll set up a little bit, and then we'll just take the Command and Conquer value that we can have of having this in Arsenal. And then we immediately draw a very good hand. So we're really going to hope that we stuck. Ooh, interesting. He's on the 67 card special here. Yeah, there's no way he's going to try and fatigue me, right? I don't think there's any way we're going to try and get fatigued here, but I've seen crazier things. So let's get rid of my sticky note. Our Dash opponent played 3 items off the top of their deck during our turn. Played and or activated. Dromai, Talishar, Bolton, and we went first. They charge their hero soul 1 time. So this is a 1 for 4 with 1 floating. I mean, I'm pretty inclined to just take 4 here, honestly. Am I lagging? Probably me who's falling behind. It is me. Okay, so 1 for 4. I can only assume it's going to have go again. I'm just going to keep my hand, and we're just going to try and push as much damage as we can here. There's probably not a lot of poppers in our opponent's deck, so we're going to try and take advantage of that. Okay. And then I imagine this is Gallantry Gold into Raiden. So we're going to go to 32. That's what this feels like to me. We're just going to lead on Tome. I mean, I guess we're kind of hoping that that Pitch doesn't have a popper here. Oh, so it's for 4 or it's for 4 either way. Oh, this is Destroy Gallantry Gold. Oh, wow. I did not realize that was Destroy. And they killed Caloria. Okay. Yes, we're going to pitch 2 cards. Okay, so if I go pitch Metamorph, I can go Chromai, Asvali, attack with the Chromai. If it doesn't get popped, attack with the Asvali. Play the Command and Conquer, and then I can Arsenal the Sigil. Or is it better to actually pitch Sigil and Metamorph? I think this is a better line. This lets us Arsenal the Miraging Metamorph here, which I like better. Wow, Diablo. Wow. No, I don't have any wins today. We're not playing Fortnite. You're such a troll, dude. Alright, so we play Chromai. We play Asvali. Let's attack for 3. The Chromai and the Asvali is a really good play here. And then the Command and Conquer is also a really strong swing for us. Gives us a lot of opportunity here to try and take some pretty solid tempo right here. I don't know if you guys can hear Carly cackling in the background or not. I mean, I suppose it's possible that Pitch has double popper. Not likely, but possible. Yes. Oh, yes, you can hear Carly cackling in the other room. I mean, you can probably hear her because, you're in Discord with her. All right, so our opponent does not have Arcane Barrier, so they're forced to take this. And if they don't pop this, this is actually really cool because we can totally just push a ton of damage because this did not get popped. If they don't pop either one of our dragons, we get to have a really sweet play. The next time you attack this turn, you may charge your hero soul. If it's a yellow card, draw a card. Okay, so that has temper. Soulbound Resolve is the one that blocks an extra one when they charge, when they block with it. This has 1 Battle Worn, so they only get 1 block out of that. Big cackles are why I follow. Oh, you're not? Oh, you're not playing games tonight, dude? Are you not? I saw you texted that you were on earlier today. Are you not you're not playing games tonight, man? So this comes through. We go back to 2 action points. We activate Furnace to gain a resource. We throw Miraging Metamorph for 7, which is so good. We get so much value out of this. Miraging Metamorph coming in for 7. Oh, Diablo. I meant to tell you, dude. Like, I was playing... I meant to tell you last night, I think. I was playing Marvel Snap while I was in a meeting on Monday, dude. And... so, like, for a while when I started playing Marvel Snap, and I know at the beginning I was playing its bots, but then, like, I started playing, and I was, like, leveling up my deck and my cards, and I was getting some more cards, and I was trying to get synergy out of my deck, and I was winning games for a while. Like, there was a while, like, I just couldn't lose, and, like, I was like, okay, like, obviously, like, my deck must be pretty good at, like, the level, like, the rank set that I'm at or whatever. And then I played 4 games in a row, dude, and I was just getting shellacked. Like, it was just, like... it was like me retreating on the last turn, like every single game, or the turn before last. I don't know if you can retreat on the last turn. I don't remember, but it was just me retreating like towards the end of the game, like 4 games in a row, dude. Like I was just getting demolished, absolutely demolished. I'm hoping that Command and Conquer really made Pitch's turn awkward here. Like, the Tome allowed us to have an extremely explosive turn. Tome turned our turn into 3 from the Dromai, 3 from the Asvali, and then they're gonna lose. So he's just gonna block 3 and then lose his arsenal. And then 7 from the Metamorph. So we're currently at 13, and then 6 is 19. So I had a 19-point turn, like, with the cards in my hand, like, off the Tome turn, which is insane. I got to put 2 dragons in play and come in for 19, which is, like, absolutely crazy. Yeah, the Dromai had a lot of value for me there. So he could snap this if he wants to, but pitch Lost in Thought to play Miragai, come in with my dragons, and then pitch Sandcover for Command and Conquer again. I think we're just taking 3 here. I think this is definitely just a take 3 here. Like, I think we're just in a pretty good spot. Like, we've got a life total lead. We're, like, pretty far ahead. Like, at this point, like, we have board set up. I might have missed. He might have just sent, like, Engulfing Light at the Dromai, blocking that 1 arcane and charging a card too. Okay. So Courageous Steel Hand makes us +3. And then he's going to give it go again to, because he charged a card, I'm going to go to 30, and then he's going to be able to throw the Raiden at me. Raiden hits the Dromai, which makes a lot of sense. He's got to keep the board clear somehow. So we're going to play Mirror Guy. We're going to come in with the Asvalai for 2 and 1 Arcane. And then I'm just going to play the Command and Conquer, even though it has actually no value here. Like, I mean, it's a value of being a 2 for 6. So it's a value of being an on-rate card that doesn't really get any, like, buffs or, like, you know, do anything crazy here. Which I'm honestly pretty okay with. Like, I can live with that.
Let's freaking go. You love to see it.
Kobold's Uwu. Any name that has Uwu just immediately makes me laugh. Thanks for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate you being a part of the channel. What's your name? Where are you from? And do you love Flesh and Blood? Tell me about yourself. All right, so we put pitch to 24, and we're just going to throw the Command and Conquer just as a way to keep value. I could have thrown the Mirror Guy. If I was going to throw the Mirror Guy this turn, I would have attacked with it first, and then I would have actually attacked with the Asvalai. I would have pitched the Flamescale Furnace. I would have pitched the Command and Conquer to activate Furnace to go up to a 3rd Ash here, and then I would have Arsenal the Sand Cover. But I don't think, like, I think pushing tempo here is just better. Having 2 dragons on board is just always a better play for us because it gives us more value that requires our opponent to actually hit us with, which I really like. Howdy. That's not something I hear people say very often. So admittedly, like, so I'm from Tennessee, so I'm from the South, and like a lot of my family said it growing up. A lot of like my like cousins and stuff like that said it, but I was like, it's not something that was like said like at family dinners very often. Like I think my parents were in a lot of ways trying to get away from like their Southern roots growing up. Name is Toss or Taz. Toss number 1, Taz number 2, 1 or 2, out of Central Texas. And I hate Fab, worst game of all time. Well, man, I think you came to the wrong place. I think you came to the wrong place, man. If that's how you feel about it. So we have 3 Ash, so I can play Billowing Mirage and Rake the Embers here. I can alternatively block. I can block 6, so I'd end up taking 2 going to 28, and then I can still add 3 more points to the board. I'm adding 4 points to the board if I don't block. So it's definitely correct to just block here. We're just getting more value out of blocking with our cards here. Now, the value of dragons is like a 2-sided swing because on one hand, we're like the dragons have to be popped or attacked. So it is something that's pretty relevant in the idea of like in the idea that dragons are a like 2-sided swing for health because they have to be attacked and blocked in a lot of spots. So oh, and I just didn't block. I guess we'll just Arsenal. I was thinking too fast and didn't block. Oh, he attacked the Mirror Guy, so I didn't have the option. Okay, that makes more sense. So let's pitch Rake the Ember, or let's play Rake the Embers, and then we'll just attack with our Ashwings here and see what happens. Kidding, but I'm pretty new and mostly do Bravo/Azuri 2, so it's Taz. Okay, cool. I will do my best to remember that. I'm not great with names, but I will do my best to remember that. Well, welcome to the channel, man. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Appreciate you being here and hanging out. And also, welcome to Flesh and Blood, man. I was like, dude, I love Flesh and Blood. Like, Flesh and Blood is like my favorite card game I've ever played. And I've played a few TCGs over the years. So I was like, welcome to the channel. Welcome to Flesh and Blood as a whole, man. Bravo and Azuri are fun decks. I'm a big fan of Bravo, honestly. Like, Bravo is a really cool deck. I have Bravo built right now. I've never been a big assassin player, to be honest. I like never really played See, this is actually a cool play. Oh, he doesn't charge here. Okay, so if he had charged, he could actually like prevent the damage from the arcane that this is about to do. But I've never really been a big assassin player, but I mean like Azuri's very good, and I think Azuri preys on like has some good and bad matchups. Obviously, she struggles into Dromai. It's like one of Azuri's toughest matchups. I think it's just a really hard matchup for the assassin class as a whole. So many permanents on the board, and like, you know, only having like access to like, you know, like 12 to 15 poppers can be pretty rough. You're not Bravo, so it's extremely weird that a card game can give me so much adrenaline, but it's so visceral. I mean, dude, like it's a really fun card game to play. Like I completely understand. Like it's a really fun card game to play and be a part of. So he has one block left if he wants it here. Like I kind of just want to like go Chromai, pitch snatch to play Billowing Mirage, transform, and then after that come in with the Chromai, and then play my Sigil, Arsenal, my Sink Below, and set up for a good defensive turn in case Pitch has found Lumina here.
You love to see it.
Yo, Spicy Noodles. Noodle X, however you pronounce that. Thanks for following. Thanks for being a part of the channel. I appreciate you being here. Tell me about yourself. What's your name? Where you from? And do you love Flesh and Blood? Also, your name sounds super familiar. Like, the Spicy Noodles, that name sounds super familiar. He's going to kill Asvalai here. So, keeping the board clear. Like, our opponent's making some very good plays here, keeping the board clear and, like, continuing to, like, try and pressure my life total here just a little bit. Ooh, playing the old 1 for 7 here. So I think I'm just gonna take 5 and go to 22 here. Like I think we have a pretty decent line here. So Chromai, attack. And yeah, Lexi LLing put me into Bravo mode. Yeah, absolutely, dude. Absolutely. I think Bravo's a great place right now. Bravo had a good showing at Pittsburgh in both the PTI event and in the Battle Hardened. So I think Bravo's in a good spot. Actually, a guy that I know and like kind of like I play with a lot during ProQuest season, Corey Baker, top 8'd the Battle Hardened on Bravo, and he played it during ProQuest season too. So he actually won one of our local ProQuests on Bravo. I think Bravo's in a good spot right now. I like Bravo. Hey everyone, what's going on? Dude, welcome. You might have seen me talking in the Fab Discord the last few days. I'm a brand new player to Fab, had my first grab on Monarch tonight. Ripped to Command & Conquer with the white trim, so now I want to learn more than I was before. Dude, that's awesome. Well, congratulations on opening a cool card. Command & Conquer has been a staple of the game since I got into it. I don't know how much Command & Conquers are now. I don't even know how much they are. I've owned them for so long at this point, but when I got into the game, Command & Conquer was like my first like staple of Flesh and Blood that I bought, because I came from Magic and I started playing Flesh and Blood, and when I came from Magic I started playing Flesh and Blood, and I bought Command & Conquers, and they were like $100 a piece or like something crazy. Like it was like that was my first like big staple that I bought of the game. That, and I bought an Arcanite Skullcap, which was also $100 at the time. But now it's like $40 if it's even that much, which is like so funny to me how the game's evolved. But dude, man, welcome to the channel and welcome to Flesh and Blood, dude. I was like, dude, I was just talking to Taz, and dude, like Flesh and Blood is awesome. Flesh and Blood is so much fun. Should have saved that. That was dumb, blocking something without an on hit. Yeah, like so Pitch is just saying here that like he shouldn't have blocked with the Soulbound or with the Warband of Bologna there as early as he did, that if he had waited a little bit, he would have been in a better spot to try and he would have been in a better spot to like try and have the card. I deserve it. Oh man. But yeah, sorry, I got all kinds of distracted there. I mean, like, you know, welcome to the game, man. Flesh and Blood's awesome, and it's a great community, and it's a lot of really fun people. So I hope you enjoy it. I'm just gonna play the Dromai to add to the board because I think this is kind of like the end of the game here, if I'm being honest. Having 2 Dromais on the board is like absolutely insane. I'm still going to play my sigil to go to 25 here, and I'm going to arsenal my sink below. If worst really comes to worst here, during my opponent's turn, I can play the sink below, pitch a red card to Furnace to make an Ash, and then that way, even if I have 4 dragons in my hand, I still have the capability of making an Ash with the sink below. The only way that I can't do that is if my opponent doesn't attack, or if my opponent attacks only my dragons, or if my opponent has a command and conquer. Now, I know I just listed 3 things, but those are 3 things that are, like, not super likely. They also require us drawing an all-dragon hand, and that did not happen. We have a very solid hand here with no Ash in play. CNC is like $80, so has not gone down much. So CNC at one point, dude, was like $20. Like, or not, no, not $20. I'm sorry, like $60. I just, like, about had a stroke trying to talk to you about that. It was... CNC has never been $20. Do not quote me on that. CNC has never been $20. So my opponent gives go again. I'm going to play the sink below here. And I'm going to put the mirror guy on the bottom. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it really matters what I put on the bottom there. It's basically just a block 3 either way, so... Although I'm probably not going to get an opportunity to block from here. Yeah, I've really enjoyed my time so far. It's very weird coming from a traditional TCG to this. And nah, man, you were all good. You were playing a game. I get it. Oh, I appreciate it, man. I try not to bounce around too much when I'm playing, but it just... It's like trying to focus and like making the best plays while also like, you know, talking to the chat and like, you know, making sure I'm interacting with everybody. It's like it's tough to bounce around sometimes and keep it all straight. So I appreciate you being understanding. Is this also killing a Dromai? Okay, so our opponent just keeping the board clear of Dromais here, leaving themselves an out to just like draw a popper, I assume is their play. We're gonna play Burn Them All. We're gonna play Ravenous Rabble. It's like we took all the blues out, so it's impossible for us to miss. When you say traditional TCG, what do you mean, Noodle? Like, what do you mean traditional TCG? Like, did you come from Magic or like like Pokemon or like what do you? I'm not really sure what you mean by traditional TCG. I think I'm okay just attacking with the Ashwings. If my opponent pops my Ashwing here because they have a popper, then I can pitch the Enderite to the Flamescale Furnace here, and then arsenal my Dust Up. But if my opponent takes both of the Ether, or all 3 of the Ether Ashwings and the Arcane here, then I'm just going to throw the Dust Up and force cards out of their hand. And then I'm going to pitch the Enderite to the Furnace. We're so far ahead at this point that I don't think I need to arsenal the Enderite. Plus, we're also in a spot where keeping the Enderite in our arsenal gives us the option to draw 4 dragons and have 0 ways to create Ash. And then we lose all of our tempo. And that is so bad for us. So bad for us. So actually I can just make an Ash and not turn it into an Ashwing here, which is like really cool. So I can actually keep my Enderite and arsenal it instead of getting rid of it. And we'll go ahead and get rid of that. I would not have been able to get rid of all of my attacks, so it wouldn't have mattered, but I definitely should have gotten rid of an attack so that I could start towards that process of clearing up my graveyard to be in a better spot. They put a Lumina Ascension into the Soul. I mean, like, I get it. Like, they have to do something here, right? So let's sink below, put the Nourishing Emptiness on the bottom. That is a good play. Yeah, we'll just take 3 here. I don't think there's really a reason to actually... I don't think there's actually a reason to like block there or do anything, so... I pulled my first from an HP 1 box and bought 2 at 72 each. Easily the best card I pulled. I mean, dude, there is a really cool feeling about pulling a Command and Conquer Taz. Like, I completely understand what you're saying. Like, the feeling of like pulling a Command and Conquer is like very exciting. Oh, he was dead to the Arcane. Sorry, I wasn't trying to slow roll pitch. I wasn't like trying to slow roll my opponent or anything there. I just completely forgot that like they had 0 Arcane block left. I wasn't even thinking about it. Now I kind of feel bad. Pitch, if you're listening, man, sorry. I was not trying to slow roll you there. I completely forgot that I had the Arcane and you couldn't block it there. So I apologize. I was not trying to slow roll you in any fashion. I hope it did not come across that way. If it did, I apologize. I hit early and pushed Dragons. Opponent blocked early with equipment and gave me a snatch hit later on for more tempo. Okay, so through 9 games, I'm 8-1 on Dromai. Feels pretty good. Feels pretty good so far. All right, let's see. All right, so let's make sure I didn't miss anything here. I come from MetaZoo, which is basically Magic plus Pokemon together. I think of traditional as the staple of 3, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Magic. So that's fair. So I actually come from Magic myself. I played Magic for about 7 years. I quit in 2022, and I still go and play at like some RCQs and stuff randomly with my friends. Just like when I feel like I need a break and I need to like go turn my brain off and just hang out with people. But I come from Magic, so I get what you're saying. Like one of the big 3 of like, TCGs. I get that. That makes all the sense. Dromai is still on a traditional TCG. Oh man, I mean, Dromai is like by far the most like I would say plays to like a traditional TCG, and like in the aspect of like it adds to the board and like it plays more of like a setup and like try to have a board advantage kind of game than it does like of attacking and blocking. Like Flesh and Blood is definitely very different in that aspect from any other card game I've ever played, because like Yu-Gi-Oh, you set things up on the board. Even in Pokemon, you like try to set things up and take prize cards and stuff like that. So it's like all a little same but different. All little same but different. Ouch. Haha. Nope, you're good, man. I had no idea what was going on at that point there. Yeah, so Pitch, I got ahead pretty early with some Dragons. Like I had a couple of pretty good draws. Like I won't even lie to you, man. Like there was a couple of times I was like, wow, that was a pretty good draw. And then the Dragons just kind of allowed me to like snowball and like get ahead and keep rolling with my game where I was at. And then me being able to like you blocking with the Warband of Bologna and giving me the snatch was pretty good. And honestly, that's just kind of one of those things that you pick up on like the more you play. You just kind of like, oh, like this deck plays snatch and I've seen 1 or 2 of them. I need to be aware that this could be a blowout play here and save your equipment as long as you can. But it's also a balancing act because you can't take too much damage. So you kind of have to like figure out where that line is. And I mean, unfortunately, sometimes we just get it wrong. It's just, it's part of the game. But I was like, it's definitely one of those things that I've gotten better with the more I've played against decks and the more I've played with decks to help me learn more about them for sure. I did pull a Tunic from my first BL pack, but that's cheaper now. BL. Trying to think of what. Oh, Bright Lights. Okay, sorry. Bright Lights. There it is. That's awesome, dude. I have wanted to pull a Tunic from Bright Lights so much. Like, and I haven't. I don't even need a Tunic. I have a Tunic, but I just want to say I pulled a Tunic in the expansion slot, and I can't do it to save my life. Even Carly didn't open one when I bought my case of Bright Lights, and Carly opens like all the good cards that I get for the most part. Like she opens all the crazy stuff. I felt okay at the beginning, but made quite a few big mistakes. So I mean, like the snatch play was the big one that I noticed as far as like, you know, I was concerned, like from my point of view. So that was like the biggest one that I really noticed from my point of view. Flesh and Blood is king. Give it a try, dude. Hal's right. Hal's right, man. Flesh and Blood is where it's at, dude. I have it at a Monarch draft tonight and got confused on my knowledge and bricked myself on a deck. Had 8 baubles. Oh my god, dude. Noodles, what happened, bro? When you had 8 baubles in your deck? Bro, that's wild. 8 baubles in your deck? What were you playing that had 8 baubles, bro? Monarch has a lot of generics you can play. Yeah, dude, absolutely. Like, Taz is right. 8 is nuts. Yeah, Bright Lights. I'm just completely behind the curve. I read BL and I was like, what does this mean? The numbers, Mason. What do they mean? For some reason, I thought that Levia used a rune sword. I have Peepo sad. I have no idea what that word is. So I had more brutes. Oh, gotcha. I see what you're saying now. You thought that Levia had more like Runeblade cards. Okay, so you thought you could play Runeblade cards with Levia. I see what you're saying now. I could see that being like something that like you don't pick up on like the class differentiation because there's 2 shadow heroes. I could see that being an easy thing to do when you first start drafting. I went 1-2 though, so not bad. Dude, that's awesome. Winning 1 game at your first like event is crazy. I like just lost perpetually until like to everybody in our area. Like I think my first army event I went 0-3. Like I think I went 0-3. Like like just lost to everybody my first Flesh and Blood event. Not a fan of the expansion slot in practice. Already dead should not be $20. So as far as like from like a marketing price, I hear what you're saying. Like I think it's fun to have cards outside of the set that you can open for your collection. So as somebody who buys a case of every set to open, like me and Carly like to open the packs. So as somebody who buys a case of every set, I really like the expansion slot cards because I think they make for fun cards to open. But I hear what you're saying. I completely hear what you're saying. Like they're not great. Like the expansion slot cards are like, they do a lot of weird things for the market, in my opinion, and there's a lot of things that I like really don't like about them. So I hear you. Already Dead is going down though. I do not think it's as good as the cards we thought. Well, I think everybody learned that like you really only get got when you block with that card. Like when you block that card, and so like I think people learn pretty quickly that like sometimes it's telegraphed and sometimes you can tell it's coming. So like the card's definitely not as good as everybody thought. Like I will say that, but I do think it's a good card for a lot of decks. So, okay. I gotta get out of here. It's already 10:30 and I gotta work tomorrow. I streamed a half hour longer than I meant to, but I got a great game in. I was like, I'm glad that me and Pitch got to play a game. That was good. I don't get to play against Bolton too often, so it was good to play against Bolton. Thanks everybody for hanging out. I appreciate you guys being part of the stream. Whether you're on Twitch, YouTube, Kick, wherever you're at, means a lot. I appreciate you guys being a part of the stream and being here. Lord. Tomorrow Carly and I are hanging out. I'm not exactly sure if I'll be streaming tomorrow. I know that we're playing pickleball with some friends after work. And then I'm not sure what we're doing after that. Family dinner Thursday? Yeah, family dinner Thursday, I think. We're at home all weekend this weekend, so I'll probably be streaming this weekend. So if you guys don't see me this week, I will definitely be back this weekend. Thanks so much for hanging out, and I will see you guys then. Have a good week, everybody.